Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. We are live once again, and we have our old pal Mark from Global Agenda, and as always, the lovely Amy and our good buddy Gandalf. Hello, guys. How's everybody doing? You can now unmute and begin to speak.
Oh no, Amy, ladies first. She's already tapping out.
You want to try again, Amy? Your audio is really in and out.
Amy's been hacked already early in the game.
Oh boy, Amy, I'm not hearing a thing from you.
Gandalf's got
I'm at 100% on my
Your CPU is 100%.
So
didn't we just talk about this 3 seconds ago?
Yeah. How you been, Gandalf?
Oh, pretty good, bro. Am I coming in all right, or am I choppy?
You're actually coming in okay, but you kind of sound like you're talking through a bed sheet.
Really?
Like in the old days on TV, the old movies where they wanted to hide their voice, they would put a handkerchief over the speaker on the cell phone, on the telephone.
Oh, okay.
Before they
Brother Mark, how you been, man?
I'm good. And then they put, what was that stuff that they put on on the rag before they snuff food him? It was the same stuff that the dentists did to put the guys up before he pulled their teeth. What was that?
Ether.
Yeah. And then he knocks the guy out, right?
Or chloroform.
I'm good, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? Here's the deal. You had me for 3 hours last week plus, right?
Yeah.
And then you, after the chat, you said we didn't even talk about anything, and you said you got another 8.5 hours that you'd like to spend with me. So today when I posted it for my peeps on my channel, I said, you asked for eight more hours. I said, okay, I'll give them another 3 tonight. So thanks for the other 3.
I appreciate you, brother. You've been a busy boy, and there's much to discuss. One of the first things I need to get out of the way, just in case you're listening, Josh, I want to make a public apology. The video I posted yesterday, I swear to God, it was not a video to call you out. It was not a video that, I didn't say that you were wrong. I just said that I didn't see what you see. And then as I was scrolling through your comments, I saw a comment from Adelaide. So between the things that you discussed in your video and the comment from Adelaide, it just sparked that thought in me, and I just wanted to go and share, my opinion about race. And I almost like to talk about that briefly with Gandalf and Mark, because they're both in Canada. Gandalf left me a comment under that video talking about how race in Canada never used to be a thing, and he said now you guys are almost as bad as the United States. So you guys are both, I got 2 Canadians on the panel tonight. So why don't you guys tell me about that?
Well, for me, I've started noticing in the past 5 years, especially, that race is really becoming an issue in Canada. It wasn't at all years ago. Our Conservative Party and our Liberal Party kind of went along, like the racial lines were blurred. Like it wasn't like minorities were kind of like with the Republican Party. They're kind of repulsed by the Republican Party. But now it's kind of turning the same way as it is down there. You got this new guy, Jagmeet Singh, that's the leader of the NDP party. And he came out and said, I think it was in his acceptance speech to become the leader of the NDP. And now this guy's like a Sikh, right? And he's saying how we're going to finally be able to make Canada a great country. And he's insinuating that it wasn't ever a great country before. And he's going into how a lot of minorities are being like oppressed and whatnot by police. So now basically up here in Canada, the same narratives that you see in the American media are being pushed into politics, where it's like, if you're this race, you have to be with this party. And it was not like this 10 years ago. It was unheard of for this kind of talk to be going on. We had no big racist movements up here in Canada.
So now you're saying that you do.
Oh yeah, there's in
You
Quebec.
said in your comment that it's like as bad as it is here in America.
Oh yeah, and it's getting worse as time goes on. Maxime Bernier actually said something that's kind of
Is it white on black racism that they're
no,
pushing?
it's like basically it's like white against everyone because Canada is kind of like it's been majority white. It was like 95% white until the 90s. And I think that the numbers are somewhere around we're almost 70% white now. So it's like a 20% drop in 20 years. And what's really strange about it is now that there's been so many people coming in, there's actually this one guy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but his name's David Suzuki. He's kind of a big nature specialist.
Yes. Oh yes.
Well, where it was so bizarre for me, like, was about 2014, where I'm reading in the newspaper, and I went and looked all into this. Was David Suzuki? He's like kind of like everyone in Canada knows who David Suzuki is. And David Suzuki came out and he said that the Canadian government's metropolis plan, the 100 million people by 2100, like, is the projected goal that the Canadian government has. So they're bringing in like hundreds of thousands of people a year into Canada. And basically they're trying to get to that 100 million Canadians mark by 2100. And David Suzuki came out and said that this is crazy. In Canada, there's a finite living space along the American border, roughly within 100 miles of the American border, is where all of us have to live. Because if you go north of that, you're in the frickin' tundra, okay? It's like boreal forest. It's one endless giant forest up there. And you can't farm that land. It's pure Canadian shield, right? And he came out and says that this is crazy. How are we going to fit 100 million people into this land? And that this is totally nuts. The government came out and said, like the Stephen Harper government, he was like our wannabe George Bush neocon hawk that only got kicked out by Justin Trudeau in 2015. And so he's saying that this is crazy. But the Harper government, right, they came out, that our immigration minister came out and said that David Suzuki is a xenophobic white supremacist for coming out against this plan.
So it looks like maybe Lady Zaga is from Canada. She has a comment for you. She says, wow, Gandalf, you better review the history of how all immigrants to this country benefit from systemic racism against the First Nation. What do you?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Look at how in Canada there's a huge discrimination against Native Americans, and that's going on to this day. Canadian military bases are positioned right outside of reservations. If you look at our reservations up here in Ontario, in Northern Ontario, there's no roads getting in and out of these places. There's no proper water treatment facilities at any of these reservations. Native Americans are basically treated like garbage by the Canadian government, and they'll give money to someone who's new to Canada. They'll give if you walk across, say you walk across right now from the American border, they'll give you an apartment, they'll give you money. They don't give anything to the natives in most of these places. Like, it's huge discrimination, and this has been going on for centuries, but it's just crazy that we don't build proper infrastructure up in the reservation systems, because these reservations are basically third world conditions, right?
Hey, Lanny's in the chat. Lanny, good job on that call in, bro. I heard that. Wasn't it, am I wrong? Was it Lanny that called in into what was that podcast they were doing? The guy that looks like Jason Boss. I don't even know those two jokers. It was Joe. He was interviewing Joe Biggs. Anybody remember? Mark?
Who was that guy? The jackass that got fired from the Alex Jones show. I remember him and this other guy were talking. I saw that. That was great. Lenny, they totally cut you off there, buddy.
Yeah, good job trying to throw some
Yeah.
truth bombs out there.
Yeah, that Lenny the Canadian there. Lenny's in the house. I'm not in the chat, so I'm setting up some screens. Yeah, man. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Lenny, I saw that, buddy. I'm not watching anything right now. I'm on where I'm at right now, Gandalf.
Yeah.
I'm setting up my little Canadiana presentation. Maxime Bernier and Muslims. That's where I'm at right now on Google search. How's that one? Pretty good?
What's your opinion on the whole Maxime Bernier
No,
thing?
you can't ask me that. I'm still searching.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going back. I'm going back. That was some awesome work by the Canadian there on Infowars, ex-Infowars guys. Anyway, hold that thought. I'm going back in. I'll be out in 2 minutes. Bye.
All right. Well, I kind of brushed over a little quicker than I wanted to. I genuinely want to make a genuine apology to Josh. I meant no disrespect. My video was inspired by what I saw in what I heard and what I saw in his comments between him and the comment from Adelaide, and it just sparked my own thought that I wanted to share. And it was not in any way trying to call him out or say he was wrong. And I did agree with him on several opinions. In fact, I think one of the main reasons he even posted that was because he recognizes that white people are being marginalized, particularly by the diversity culture, and most particularly in hiring practices like big corporation hiring practices. And the articles are everywhere. There's YouTube videos and people talking about it everywhere. And to that point, I absolutely agree with Josh. And I really, Josh, I respect you, and you just took it wrong. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, it wasn't about that. It wasn't about trying to address you directly. It was just something that you made me think of that I thought I would share. So just want to get that out of the way and make it very clear that I meant no disrespect at all. I wasn't trying to start any kind of drama or nothing like that. So we love you, Josh. And I hope you get the message. So with that note, let me see. There was something else I wanted to start off with. And Mark just stepped away. Oh, right.
I'm here.
Right.
Just setting up some screens.
To everybody hanging out in the chat, just many of you may know already, but if you weren't here last week, we got trolled pretty hard. I don't know if it was because of our guest Mark or if it was because we were taking a dump on the QAnon, because nobody here believes that crap. So there was a major thumb war going on, and it was like unbelievable. The thumb count was just off the charts. Way like 10, 20, actually it was almost 100 times higher than what we normally get. Literally it was 101 thumbs down by the time the night was over, and everybody was trying to do their best to support. So it was like 75 up right now to 101 down. So everybody just if you have access to a thumb button, because I know some people are watching or listening that don't have YouTube channels, and so they can't, they don't have that privilege of commenting or liking or whatever. So just in case we get trolled, everybody with wrenches, you guys know what to do. As long as they're being respectful, they can stay. If they're disrupting the conversation, then you guys know how to handle it. So, and also just in case, I just handed out a few extra wrenches tonight. If you don't know, the wrench also gives you the ability to leave links in the live chat in case you want to share some information. So those of you with wrenches, you can boot out trolls and you can leave links. So Mark, are you back?
Yeah, give me a sec, 2 minutes. Then I'll go into my Canadiana for you in a minute.
Yeah, I got a question for you. I want to maybe just try to pick up a little bit where we left off.
I'm just setting my screens up for myself. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things that we were talking about near the end of the show, when you did like a 20 or 25-minute presentation on the Toronto van attack, and you were exposing a bunch of the stuff you found out there. You talked about this woman who, I forget, either worked at the hospital or was a victim and was sent to the hospital where your sister worked. And I think you said, what was that, Melbourne Collegiate Hospital?
No, it was Melbourne.
Melbourne?
It was, and it was the end of the video. It wasn't the one that there was two young ladies that were shot, okay, in the Toronto Danforth shooting. There was an 18-year-old and then there was a 10-year-old. The 10-year-old is the one that I when I punched it into the gematinator, that's the one that all the numbers all of a sudden pounded out at the Invictus games. And it was the young one. The older one, the 18-year-old, was the girl that went to my older sister's school in Malvern, on Kingston Road there.
Oh,
Kingston and Victoria Park, upscale Toronto neighborhood, whites, very white. Oh, as we go into Toronto and Ontario, and whites, yeah, white neighborhood, yeah.
okay. So I totally misremembered. It wasn't the van attack. It was the airport shooting, and it wasn't the hospital. It was
No,
the
not
school. She went to the
not,
school where your sister
not
was.
the airport. There was no airport shooting in Toronto. I have yet to look at the old Yorkdale Mall. I worked at the Sport Check.
Well, just remind me.
I was a department.
Which shooting was it?
Toronto's got more shootings going on right now, bro. We could, you know what? Why don't we do a chapter 3 next week and the global agenda on the Toronto shootings? And then we can get the boys in the hood, in NSA, CIA, whoever, they can start spilling out the pro Toronto shootings, but I can pick them apart. It's like, you guys went into my hood, man. I can pick you guys apart easy.
So my big question is,
remember, I worked in a prison. I worked in 3 prisons in 15 years, and I got to know many incarcerants. And those guys talk to, if you're the gym teacher, if you're a recreation officer, they love, because you might give them an extra deck of cards. So I knew what was going on with the inner dynamics of the court system and everything. And you know what? It's a rigged reality, and the court system, you know, it starts in the court system. So nobody can pull the wool over my eyes.
all right. Well, so my big question is, have you had a chance? It's been a week. Have you had a chance to talk to your sister about it?
Not that one, no.
Okay,
That's off limits, bro. That's off limits, guy.
Okay.
Okay, so in my family, there's me and 3 sisters. Me and 2 know my channel.
Oh.
The one that's the employee for the Toronto District School Board is at Melbourne Collegiate. She doesn't really follow my channel.
Okay.
So
she's on the district school board.
She's inside operations. She's not a teacher. She's in the front office.
Okay. All right. So it's a little bit of a sensitive topic. She's got some stuff on the line there.
You're not just gonna go up there and go, "Hey, can you prove to me that student was in your school?" And she's gonna go, "What do you mean?" And I go, "Well, Kim, I have global agenda. I have 13,000 and change subs. Probably more like 133,000, but I get algorithm demonetized. So they want to know that this young 18-year-old that was apparently going to university. Did you know her? And how long was she at the school?" Those would be my 2 questions.
Well,
and my sister might go, no, I think she came in the fall of 2017, and she was going to do her last year, and she got taken out on the Danforth, right in front of the aquarium that has, who's the dude, the Greek goddess that's in front of that, Mark Antony, something like that. It's on the Danforth. I've eaten there. Great souvlaki. Awesome souvlaki. Big feed. Good food. Like lots of tzatziki. The potatoes are awesome. And the psyops, they didn't go over so well. Hashtag Danforth shooting, not so good. How's that? Before we go into Trudeau's Canada, since he was elected.
All right. So before we move on, you did say, I know that you didn't comment, but you did say you had a chance to watch the video that I was apologizing over about the one I titled it Race and Pride and the Non Sequitur. It's my opinion that I don't have reason to be proud to be white. I happen to be white. It's not something that I chose or worked for. So do you want to share your thoughts or opinions? Are you in that camp? Or do you disagree with me? Am I completely off base? Because I mean, one person did leave a comment that was at least thought provoking, and about, he said, are you proud of your mother? Are you proud of your dad or your brother? He said it's the same as being proud of your heritage. I don't really see it that way. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I saw that comment. I saw that comment because I was, I've been trolling your channel, right? I want to make sure if I'm gonna take videos off your channel and put them on my channel, I got to make sure that you're real deal, right? Because there's a lot of bullshit going on in YouTube right now, right? So I have to admit that, I watched the video and then I scrolled down all the comments and I did think I left one. If I thought I left one, maybe it didn't. Did I get shadow banned again? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Was that this afternoon? Because I haven't been on that comment thread this afternoon.
No, I was working. No, I was out. All day from like probably noon until like 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So that would have been on 11:30 ish. I would have posted that.
Well, I definitely touched a nerve, and I don't mean obviously Josh, but it got
no. But what I'm saying, sorry. I want to finish what I'm about to say, because before I comment on it, I truly believe, though, Aaron, that you should open it up right now and play it again, because it's not that long. Because there's people here that are going, "What the hell are you talking about?" So do it, right? So
really,
Dante T. Edwards is telling me, it says at bite me to Global Agenda. Dante is saying to at bite me. Where's my hammer? I gotta go. No, I got the wrench. Hey, can I take out Dante? Where's Dante? Come back to me on the scroll. Dante said to bite me. Where's the wrenches out there?
What are you talking?
You know what, Aaron?
What are you talking
if
about?
wrenches don't do a better job controlling that chat, I'm out. I'm going over to Unirock. Listen, I think you should play that video.
Okay.
I'm not going to comment on it until you play it.
Okay, well, you know what?
Listen, both of my parents are from deep in Nigeria, and I sound like this Irish Canadian dude, but I'm as black as the Ace of Spades guy, and I'm offended with what I've been watching.
Well, I was scrolling through the comments just now, and I noticed Eckhart Troll is in there. Hey, Eckhart. He says race is a social construct. He said that in his other comment.
I saw it.
I might like to have Amy actually respond to that if her audio is working okay. Because I have a feeling what Amy's going to say, and poor Amy hasn't said a word. I don't know if she's even able to speak. Her CPU is maxed out right now. Her audio is terrible. Amy, say something if you can. Just interrupt me. But last time Amy and I talked about race, if I remember correctly, shit, somebody's here. Hang on a second. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. These other professional channels like SGT Report, Hagman and Hagman, you never get the dogs barking at the door during the interview, do you? That's why you have to love Aaron at Rufus Cat channel. Who's to name? What's his name again? Whose name again? Johnny Suit.
My audio is not.
Johnny. Go ahead. Amy, take over.
I have it. I'd love to talk, but no.
You know what? I think that Johnny, those big channels are all full of shit. Johnny says. I think that we need to have a. I think we need to do a live
I've
stream.
got a really rad problem.
Listen, I think that we need to do. We need to have a schedule of streaming between a group of channels, and then we can like have an hour here where we just go boom, 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 and we all preach the same stuff. Because last night I was in the chat at Uni's with Johnny Supertramp, and Lively was over there, and so was Roosevelt, who's doing some great stuff, and so was Joel, right? Joel bought 5, and then we got a lot of people in this group here that are making videos. So we can all get together, and then we can just kind of like push each other, because what's going on in these other communities is they're doing it, but they're doing it quietly. Or we can kind of just come online and go, hey, you know what? We got this guy, this guy, this guy. We can all just get together and we go, you know what? We're gonna go and spank this guy over here and go, he's bullshit. Like with what's going on with Cappy and vegan, and like there's some really good discussion going on right there. And guys like Lively and Johnny Supertramp, myself even, and Joel Bot and the guys over on Uni's channel, plus himself, when he sees big stories, he'll leak it. You know what? We can weed these bastards out, and that's why we got some good strong chat, and we got trolled last week, but we're not gonna get trolled tonight. We can take them out.
That's right.
Go ahead.
My CPU has dropped a bit, so you probably can hear me.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you're good.
But it's not going to last. It goes down for a little while and then jumps up to 100%. And every time I've wanted to say something for so far until now, it's been at 100%, and you guys can't hear anything.
So check this out. While my dogs went crazy, my neighbor from across the street walked over here, and he's cleaning out a bunch of stuff in his house. He handed me a book. It's the history of Decatur, which is one of the main suburb cities of Atlanta. History of Decatur, 1823 to 1899. And I just opened it up to a random page, and the first thing I says is, murder, the first hanging.
Wow.
A white man, 1829, when a white man by the name of Crowder paid the death penalty.
Wow.
Well, it was 1829 in the South. I was actually expecting it to be the first, a black man being the first one to be hung.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I am. That is a little not what I expected. It was on churches and maps, and interesting. I look forward to going through that. Anyway, what were you guys talking about? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I was saying that there's some good people in the community right now. Whether we decide to continue to expose the shilly channels, which I think I've been bitten into it, but you've got like Johnny Supertramp, and you got Lively out there, and we were all in the same chat last night at Uni, and it was good because we were exposing Jordan Sather, right? So we got a lot of people with good talent, including Joel Bott and Roosevelt. Even like there's some good quiet channels out there that are like just destroying it if you're watching the video. So I think that it's a good chance for us to just smack away at people. Like I haven't done my Liz Crokin yet, and we'll probably discuss her later on tonight.
I definitely want to talk about Liz.
There's several that are not so several, but there's like 4 or 5 that we have to kind of like squash right now, because we can't let them continue to grow. We have to make them minus. So there's a lot of channels right now that are growing, and it's on this side of YouTube, which is good. I'm not being censored anymore on my channel growth. It looks like my viewership is growing, which is nice.
Yeah, and you've been putting out a lot of videos too. So, you know, the video I put out the other day on the Silence is Deafening, the one that you shared, you know who I forgot to include was it's Truth Unveiled 777.
Oh,
That channel, that's another big ass Christian channel, 275,000 subs.
yeah.
That pedo priest Pennsylvania grand jury report came out. It's been 2 weeks now, right? Almost 2 weeks. I think Tuesday.
It was. It would
No,
have.
it's gonna be
They
3
did.
weeks.
They did the Friday drop, Aaron. It was a Friday drop that hit the papers on a Friday.
You know what else
So it's
happened in
been-
Pennsylvania? That I think it was that weekend or a couple of days later when it started making the rounds in publication. They had that freaking shooting at the wasn't it the gamer shooting?
Oh, that was on the Sunday. They had the shooting.
The Madden gamer, that Madden gaming. That was in Pennsylvania, right?
The Madden 19 shooting.
Yeah, that was in Pennsylvania,
No,
right?
it was
Oh,
in
it was in,
Jacksonville Landing.
I think
No, it
Jacksonville,
was Jacksonville
Florida.
Landing. I did a video on it.
Okay, there was something that happened in Pennsylvania. Something happened in Pennsylvania.
What, around the time that the expose and the priest was coming out?
Yes, there was something that happened in Pennsylvania that grabbed the news's attention.
Oh, it took it away from the pedo?
Yeah.
Okay. Really? When did the pedo break? The pedo broke, well, it was breaking in Canada before that, because when I was telling you on Skype that we were getting reports by the CBC that what was happening was, from this report, was they were sending a bunch of the priests up to Canada, like 300 of them, for pedo rehab. It was like Dr. Phil, pedo rehab. And then the big story was the communities where the pedo priests were in for their 6 months intensive rehab were like going, did they get out to the community? Were they like in our community? So this is what CBC did a story on it. And this was like, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And they were breaking it that this Pennsylvania report was coming out. And then shortly thereafter, the American media jumped on and I think you and I discussed this on Skype, and I said, "Oh, there it goes," because it was already a little bit the flames or the coals were being skewered up here in Canada a week before it was released in the States, that it went, kind of mainstream, but it didn't get blown over because what else happened in Pennsylvania that we're looking for? Some whitewashed it.
Yes.
McCain's death, maybe something like that, maybe. Huh?
No, well, no, McCain's
McCain's death happened around that time.
He's senator from Arizona, and I don't know.
Supertramp's in the room, right? I see. Is Johnny Supertramp?
Yeah.
Johnny's been linking the McCain stuff. When did, ask Johnny in the chat, when did McCain's death, when did they announce it? And then we'll be able to say when this Pedogate report came out of Pennsylvania, because there's numbers there for sure, Aaron, for sure.
Well, I think Johnny, one of his videos said that it was 17 days before the anniversary of September 11th was when he died. So I would assume, I don't know if that's the day they announced it or the day they died or day he died. I'm kind of scanning through the chat to see if anybody's answered my question about what happened in Pennsylvania, because I'm pretty sure something happened. It was a shooting or something happened in Pennsylvania, and it took all the attention away from the pedo scandal, the grand jury report.
Yeah. Okay. So you think that it got squashed like right away?
Yes,
it only hit mainstream.
I think
for
so.
It only hit mainstream for like 4 or 5 hours, and then it got hammered.
Yes.
Is that what you think?
I think so.
Well, we can see it by the algorithms on YouTube or on Google, both.
Johnny said McCain 25. Do you 25? Is that the 25th? 25th of this month? Is that the day of the month you're saying there?
They said he died 6 days ago. Yeah, because he's lying in state right now. His funeral's tomorrow, right?
I just love that. I just love that phrase, lying in state. John McCain is lying in state. So the guy's still dead and he's still lying.
And I don't even,
Good one.
Hey, I've been was chatting on Johnny's video there from yesterday. I go, what do you mean lying in state? I said, he's down on Epstein Pedo Island having a friggin' margarita. He's in retirement, guy. Anyway, that's my opinion. Bro. I'm looking at something right now, though, okay? So what I have open right now, I'm going to send the link into the chat right now, and then they can see what I'm looking at. I'm going to send it into the chat.
Me, but I'm
Amy.
with you.
Dang it, Amy, you're breaking up again.
Yeah, Amy, that's terrible. You're going to have to go in deep in your computer one of these days and clear out some space.
Hey, is anyone starting to feel a little sorry for Alex Jones?
That's my answer.
I don't know. What's your guys' opinion on the whole Transgate fucking situation with Alex Jones?
Oh, that. Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Gandalf, have you heard his excuse?
Yeah, that appears.
Like, oh, yeah, porn pops up on your phone all the time. No, actually, it fucking does not.
No, you got to go looking for the tranny porn.
Tranny porn doesn't just pop up on my browser. No, it doesn't. Anybody believes that needs to have their head examined.
Yeah, I think his excuse, you got to watch his response when a lady calls in and she's just asking him about, like, she came on probably saying she wanted to talk about the Mueller investigation or something like that. And right at the very end, right before she gets off the phone, she's just like, Alex, what about the tranny porn? That's what everyone's talking about right now.
Yeah. It took all of about 5 seconds for that one to make its way around.
When did McCain pass? When did they say
August,
McCain passed?
Johnny said.
I'm at
August what?
Sorry, Amy, you're not. It's not working, Amy. I'm sorry. Mark, Johnny said August 25th.
August 25th. Right?
Try again, Amy. Nope. Not hearing you. Damn it, Amy.
Amy needs more broadband, eh?
Yeah, she needs a computer.
Did you hear my A there? I said A.
It's her old computer. It's just an old computer, and it's running 100% maximum.
Oh, it's the computer. It's not.
The hamster is getting tired. So, okay, let me see. Sean, didn't you say that Sean covered the pedo pope?
Yeah, did you not open his link from that yesterday?
No.
Aaron?
No, I've been busy.
Why? What, so you expect your guest to open the friggin' link for you or what?
Well, yeah, that's why you're here, because you know things I don't know.
Yeah. And you didn't know that we're going to be discussing SGT. All right, lead.
I'm not saying it.
Hey,
I literally spent all day yesterday.
What were you doing yesterday?
Just a contract job. I got
shooting groundhog?
Just doing some cabinet work. I was literally busy all day working on some cabinets for a customer.
Oh, all right. So that's why you asked me. You said, "Can you come on again?" Just so you can have me talk for 3 hours. All right, I understand.
Well, yeah, I need you to do my homework for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I hope you're not talking. I hope you're not talking about the video that I actually featured, because when I showed SGT's channel and I played those clips, not the Silence is Deafening video, but the other one where I showed where SGT was actually talking about pedophiles, and he had a picture.
Right.
He had a picture of the Pope.
Right.
But I listened to almost that entire broadcast, and I was skipping around. I would skip about every 20 or 30 seconds to make sure I wasn't missing anything. And he, as far as I know, he didn't mention the Pennsylvania report. Am I wrong? Did you listen to every word?
No. But here's the deal. When I was listening to your breakdown, what I was waiting for you to say was SGT never said anything about anything during the 45-minute interview. Because SGT will set it up, and this is not to discredit the way he does his videos, because you know what? He's hook, lined, and sinkered 400,000 people since he's been on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'll be honest with you. Probably 200,000 of those are fake bots that have been bought. That's why they call them bots, because they've been bought. And, you know, a few years ago when there was a lot of infight in this community between guys like Jeff C., Max Malone, myself, Red Pill Revolution, there was a lot of discord in the community. I was in my infancy with maybe 1,400 subs, but I didn't like what I saw, and all of a sudden, I did a video, and I know that the discourse and how many friggin' channels can buy views inside of the YouTube beast. It can be done, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes that can be credited for bringing that to light, and to me with all these emails going what, and I'm seeing all these transactions behind the scenes. And then you just have to go over to Social Blade now, and you can see these channels are making killer dollars. And you know, I was monetized. You could go into my Social Blade and see what I was making a month. But during the purge, I eliminated 300 plus videos and took away 1.7 million views in one purge. I said, no, I'll save my subs. And I saved my subs 13,000 and change, and now they're going back up and growing again, because that's the way I work. I'm not bought and paid like some of these channels. And when SGT is putting out what he's putting out and not commenting on things like that, and how come, Aaron, we got 2 or 3 days after you and I went back and forth on that video that you did, and then I did a follow, but I didn't even really mention in my video that I was putting, yours was like on the end of my video. I said, I'm giving you a shout out, and then boom. And that's when you commented back on my video. You said, hey, because this all started with KJ from, and you can bring it up. You can talk about it, but you saw it. KJ from, as we know,
he replied to me.
Yeah. But he called me out, though, as a show. He called me out as a non-truther. Didn't you see his comment that he left for me?
In a separate comment?
Didn't you ever see his comment he left for me?
Was it the same comment?
No, KJ left me a personal comment, and then he went down and commented on yours.
Oh, well, I didn't.
You never saw what he said?
No, I didn't get a notification for that. No.
Yeah, okay. So you know what? Because I'm sure, you know what, you called him out in your video. But he called me out. And while he was looking at the comments, he saw yours, and then he commented on yours. But he called me out at the top of the page. So you haven't seen what he said?
I think I saw it.
Okay, so I'll pull it up.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you. But you have to see how I handled it in my reply. So we'll screen share that with the group, because KJ, you know what? He told us he broke his collarbone around Christmas 3 years ago when RFB's computer blew up and Zach had the accident and took out the side corner of his house. That was the Christmas of, I think, 2015. And then 2016, it was all about, the growing Pizzagate conspiracy. 2017 was all about shill channels continuing fake news. And then all of a sudden we had to be dealt with this QAnon bullshit. So you can see how the truth community has one psyop after another. Tracy Beans played the computer card like RFB did. Said her computer blew up. She wanted new equipment. She gets new equipment through all these Patreon. She's like number 2 in Patreon. Her and SGT, there's 2 in Patreon.
Wow.
Well, definitely go ahead and do a screen share.
800 plus people. You can see on Patreon how much 800 plus people a month donate to those channels. And then you can go over to Social Blade and see what I've been showing, how much they're making average a month. And then Jordan Sather, we haven't talked about him yet tonight, but we'll probably get into him later on the back end. He's telling us yesterday when he came back with his responding, he finally responded to the Comedy Central gig. He comes back and says it was a skit.
Right.
And if it's a skit, you and on people not too happy with you, son. And then he says he's all about the business end of it, the contract deals, and growing his brand recognition. And he said that, and I put it out there. And then Unirock last night did a podcast all night for 3 hours, 3 hours on it. And Johnny was in there, Lively was in there. There were some good channels in there, Joel Bott, like I was saying, Roosevelt, these young creators, and now it's like gang up time because there's a bunch of us that have had enough, and including what your guys are doing here with Amy, yourself, and the big dog Gandalf. You know what? We'll wipe them out slowly because you know what? Liz Crokin, she's on the things to do list, and so is Honeybean. We're calling her Moneybee.
Yeah.
Lively's been calling her out. It's good that we got a core group, and you know what? If some of them are fake, including myself, I've been doing it for almost 6 years. I've hung on to my channel by doing it the way it should be done. And you know what? The truth is the truth, and I feel good when I lay my head on a pillow.
Right.
Wow,
Dude,
I want to watch that Unirock stream. I had to go to bed, man, but wow, like I noticed Unirock, he does a lot of good stuff especially when it comes to Sather nowadays, man.
Dude, that was hilarious, Mark, in your last Sather video, where Sather says he's selling origami or orgon.
Yeah.
What's
selling that?
Fucking orgon, please.
Wow. Like, and this guy, you know what?
That's right. That to me right there is all I need to know. That one tiny tidbit of a fact, that little gem, that right there is all I need to know about Sather. You're selling orgone? Okay.
Yeah.
Done. You are not interested in reality or truth.
Wait, what's Oregon?
Orgone or orgon is this imaginary
Orgone?
Yes. Gandalf, you might want to maybe just do a quick a search, or you can do a YouTube search because it's everywhere. The orgone is everywhere. It's where you take basically fiberglass resin and then you pour it into a cup, and before it hardens, you layer in from bottom to top, and usually people make them into little pyramids and these, you know, obelisk and shapes like that. And you layer what's supposed to be organic material, and then a layer of like BBs from a child's BB gun, and then a layer of organic material, and then like what's it called? Brillo pad, you know, that copper galvanized plated Brillo scrubbing pad, because it's got this, you know, metal fiber, and then another layer of organic material, and then a layer of like aluminum chips and shit, like, and then it hardens into a shiny, polishable look. And they're attractive, but then they're supposed to harness this orgone energy that's never been proven under any circumstances. It's just a bunch of woo-woo bullshit.
Okay, that sounds like My Pet Rock or something, man.
Dude, it's straight up woo-woo. I mean, orgone is straight up woo-woo. And Sather is selling orgone? Jesus Christ.
Okay, well...
And yesterday, you know, I can search for it. Well, I did mention it. I giggled because if anyone's seen my breaking down Jordan's finally comments on the Comedy Central gig, he posted it yesterday, and he did a live stream. To get to his credit, give the guy, you know, balls for going in front of his crew, and then I could see his comments. But he's talking about the enema, right?
The coffee enema.
coffee as the enema, right? So he's like pushing this stuff out, and it's like, whoa, dude. It's like, oh my god. And that was Joelbot's video, and Lively did a video too. It's like, oh, you guys are kidding. Are you kidding me? Like, is this what we're watching right now? You're gonna let this guy push this stuff out? Oregon, and then and then he's talking about the maybe it's true, about the endorphins released in the pituitary gland once a child is anally raped, and what he was saying on Comedy Central.
Hey, you guys, before we go too far off, Hallelujah Chorus mentioned someone's name. What's his name? Lionel Nation? Or something like that. The guy with the weird, funny goatee and the circular glasses, right? What do you guys think of? Yeah, Lionel Nation. What do you guys think about how this guy, one of the top 5 Q-tards in the entire world, what do you think about this guy meeting President Trump in the White House?
The picture with him standing behind Trump at the desk.
Yeah.
What do I think about that? Well,
I think it's more LARP.
It just further solidifies what Mark and I were saying, 6 months ago, Mark, that Lionel's a shill, and he's in that pile of, that's actually a good question, Gandalf, because, with tonight's title being Breadcrumbs for Truthers, that's what Lionel is. He's a peddler of breadcrumbs.
Well, this guy is one of the top, I'd say, Sather, Lionel Nation, formerly Jerome Corsi, and Alex Jones. These guys were the main pushers from what I saw. Mark, you brought up a lot of different people that I had never even heard of last week. But from what I've been able to see, Lionel Nation, he was one of the main pushers from the very beginning of the QAnon thing. And you mean to tell me that he went to the White House and they never talked about the QAnon bullshit that Trump's media arm, probably run by Jared Kushner, is now pushing onto YouTube and all over Facebook and Twitter?
Lionel probably makes more money than Corsi in his super chat. Johnny Supertramp just reminded me, people throw $100 bills at this guy, and Lionel does a live stream almost every day, sometimes twice a day.
Yep.
No. Lionel's live streaming in the morning and in the afternoon and in the night. And Lionel is right now, Corsi's slowed right down. We've stopped that gravy train. So Corsi's not even, he's not a player right now in that. But Lionel Nation is going strong. He's like the little train that could, and it's been doing it all along, and he's doing it on the Trump QAnon train. And then when he posted that on May 12th, he posted that he's totally committed and allegiance to QAnon. So he was kind of like, there was a lot of skepticism by May, and then he had to come out, and then there was a split right around the time that Lionel came in and said that Q was real. And that's around the time that Pamphlet and Baruch, the scribe, were calling it, that it was set up by a bunch of guys that basically came over from Cicada 3301. And they brought in Beans and SGT and Young Jordan to be the cockpits. This is basically, QAnon was contrived on the internet, on YouTube. It was meant to go viral on the YouTube. It was the same thing as what they did previously with Pizzagate. And if you go back, and I did a video the other day on Truth Inferno, the very shadowy ghost channel comes in July 2017, jumps on Pizzagate. By this time, a year later, he's got 23,400 subs and 3-point-something million views. And I'm going, okay, I've been on YouTube for 5+ years making content. I got 13,000 and change subs. I would have probably close to 3 million views. Don't know how many subs because they've kept that in check, with 400 and change videos. Truth Inferno's got 99 videos. And he did the last 26 of 28 videos on Isaac Cappy. And before then, all he talked about was David Seaman, A little bit of David Wilcox, as we know, is connected to Jordan Sather and Gaia Network, and Infowars discussion with his pre Isaac Cappy. He did a video on Alex Jones, and then he came back the other day with a censorship and Carlson Tucker Isaac Jones. So he went out with a Tucker Carlson and Alex, and for 26 straight days did Isaac, and he came back in, and he hasn't done something since. And it's funny because I called his channel out the same day that he posted Tucker, and we were just talking about him in the chat room with Betty Washam, who's been putting out some pretty hardcore, I'll say hardcore stuff on Cappy and Vegan Mikey. And we were talking about it, and then she says, Mark, have you ever heard of Truth Inferno? And I said, yeah, I've been looking at Truth Inferno, and Truth Inferno to me looks like it's a ghost channel because it never thumbs up or thumbs down comments. It never lives at heart. It doesn't comment, and it's been around for a year and change. And all it does is these big-ass conspiracy stuff like Johnny Depp and Oprah, and then they did a Johnny Depp 4 days later that went viral, 485,000 hit viral video, 4 videos in. Came online July 7th and basically July 8th, the same day. It's got a 35,000 K view on Pizzagate with the Oprah and Johnny Depp saying that it's okay for Roman Polanski to come back to the States. And then, boom, 4 days later, he did another Johnny Depp pedo video. And then for the next number of weeks and months, this Truth Inferno channel did a bunch of, not Isaac Cappy, but Pizzagate. So he made money on Pizzagate, and then he jumped into David Seaman. He was doing the Infowars, and then he jumped into Isaac Cappy full-time. And now it looks like he might slow down because Isaac Cappy, as we keep plugging away with good crew in our hood, is being exposed hardcore from our side of the YouTube spectrum, which is working. We're having an impact. We can continue to talk about that as the night goes on. Because Isaac Cappy's got to go away. What he's doing on Periscope is absolutely disgusting. What he's doing on Periscope is disgusting, and his channel should be shut down. And Truth Inferno was supporting this Isaac Cappy guy for a number of weeks. There was nobody else on YouTube posting Isaac Cappy daily Periscopes but this Truth Inferno. And I'm glad what I did the other day, exposing that channel, might have slowed it down because people are all of a sudden going, what's with this Truth Inferno channel?
See, this is like an astroturfing operation, man. These people come out with videos. Oh, what were you going to say, bro?
No, I just agreeing big time.
No,
go ahead.
Yeah, so I just think this is like a massive astroturfing operation. Just like where I first noticed it was with the Flat Earth. Now, Flat Earth has mostly died down, and they started switching up to these new topics like the Pizzagate and the QAnon Mandela effect and whatnot. But these astroturfs, how it works is someone puts up a video, and a bunch of these bot accounts come out of nowhere and just start thumbing up and leaving really bizarre comments, not really even saying anything, just saying, wow, great video, man, shit like that. And these channels, because of the algorithms, get bumped up. And that's how this whole QAnon thing started. A lot of these channels came out of absolute nowhere. Like, I looked into a few of these people, and they started maybe 4 months ago. They now have 100,000 subscribers. Just people talking about QAnon, just reading over the QAnon posts. Now, I'm not sure if this is... are people just really that dumb, or is there something more going on here? Is it like...
I'm afraid so. I'm afraid I think that's the case, Gandalf.
Yeah, I start to think that nowadays, man. Like, you see these people, a lot of these people are real. Like, look at the pictures that I've been sharing on Skype of all the different people showing up at the Trump rallies with the Q t-shirts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are real people. They're absolutely real people that get sucked into false narratives, and there's certainly a hell of a, what was it George Carlin said that he said 25% said half the population is retarded and the other half is dumber than that, or something like that. Hilarious. But you know, God, I've got so much shit in my head. I could talk about John Taylor Gatto and the education system and how there are so many people these days just don't know how to think. The school system doesn't teach people how to think. It teaches them what to think and how to respond to authority. That's the main purpose for schooling. And when you get a good grasp of how and what's been done to our education system since the Prussian school system of education was brought to this country in the 1850s, when you realize the effect that it's had and how it's been manipulated and constructed specifically for the, you know, basically the elites who want obedient workers. They don't want people to ask too many questions, and they know full well that the cream of the crop will always rise to the top. So despite their best efforts, some people will break out of that system and think for themselves, but most of them won't. It's a sad fact. I mean, it is a sad fact.
See, when someone comes on the scene like Isaac Cappy, shouldn't people just look at this guy and go, okay, this is total fucking bullshit. There's no way in fuck that this is true. You know what I mean? But people just buy into it because the guy was on fucking the Thor movie and a bunch of C-grade movies like 10 years ago, right? Like, shouldn't people just see Isaac Cappy and go, okay, this is a total load of bullshit. There's no way that...
They don't know how to think, Gandalf. People don't know how to use the cognitive faculties that they're born with. It's been trained out of them. They've been raised since, you know, as they say, cradle to grave. Their entire education system, their entire experience, 12 years of school, unless you went to college, your entire school experience has been specifically designed to teach you not to think. They actually don't like it when you ask questions.
Yeah, it seems more than anything, schools trying to jam everyone into a box when they're trying to jam everyone into a square hole. When some people might end up being triangles, they're going to bash that person still into that square hole and so you're going to have to comply with the narrative, you know, and that's all school is just a programming operation, man.
Specifically, the number one, go if for anybody interested, look up John Taylor Gatto, The 6 Purposes of Schooling. He reads them out. The number one purpose, and like ingredients on a food package, the number one ingredient is the most important, or it's the most heavily, it has the most quantity. The number one, the reason for schooling is to create an automatic response to authority.
Yep.
That's the number one reason for schooling, is to literally create an automatic response to authority. So when people go online, they go on YouTube, they listen to people like Lionel and SGT and these big channels who have this, you know, they're large channels. They have credible guests. They talk into PhDs and scientists and political analysts and lawyers. And so these are authority figures. So in the minds of the plebes and the dirty masses who don't know how to think, they listen to these people speak. They don't know how to critically analyze what they're listening to. They just soak it up like a sponge because they trust that they're listening to it from an authority figure. And that's been trained into them through their entire school system.
See, when I was like a teenager, right? So when I was maybe about 18, 17 or so, I remember when I would listen to Alex Jones and I would take every fucking thing that this guy said as like the word of some kind of prophet, like, oh, fuck, Alex Jones is saying it, man. So, yep. So I remember that being at that point where you would just believe anything. So now that they've gotten rid of Alex Jones and they've replaced Alex Jones with maybe 20 or 30 of these bigger twoof channels, these people, these cult leaders can say anything and people will follow these guys off a cliff and never discern for themselves what's really going on. I've been there, so I can understand how this is happening. And I see the leaders of the whole QAnon thing, the Pizzagate thing, just totally deceiving all these people that are coming into this with good intentions. You know what I mean? That's the saddest part about the whole thing.
Aaron.
Yeah.
I think Johnny. What did Johnny Supertramp say? Johnny Supertramp said
Stoltman. I think he said Nathan was a used car salesman. Is he talking? You talking about Stoltman?
Yeah. But here's
Yes.
what's going on. Here's what's going on. Okay. You got Johnny's in the chat as we see, and just to let everyone know, I'm how long I'm into it. I'm into an hour and 6 minutes right now. So what I've been doing, and I'll announce this at the start of the video when I post it, is as we've been sitting here talking, I've been just going through what I have on my windows open, and as we're talking, I'm just clicking, and so people that will watch this video from my channel later, they'll see what I was doing during the live chat. So it's going to be a behind the scenes what Global Agenda does while he's listening to the live chat and intervening. So it's going to be kind of cool for people to see what I'm setting up. And yeah, so I'm screencasting. Just let everyone know you're on Global Agenda.
Let me jump over and highlight you so you stay put. Are you going to screen share now?
Yeah, you might as well throw it over. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Johnny Supertramp. Yeah, okay, I'll go and grab it. So hopefully none of my Alex Jones porno stuff pops up from my phone.
Hey, when you get done, before you're done sharing, hop on over to your channel and show that KJ Osborne comment, and then show my reply to him.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we're screen sharing now, right?
I'm watching the chat. Yes, you are.
Okay, so welcome, Greg J. Look at, I'm trolling your channel, bro. Oh, Rufus. Let's see what Rufus has done today. He's got a 737. Oh, Rufus.
Oh,
you
Johnny
know what?
Supertramp's going to have to make a video about me tomorrow.
Honey. Hey, this is the Boeing 737. Did you know what Boeing had to do with flight MH370?
What Boeing, the company Boeing, had to do with it?
Yeah, Boeing 737, right there, buddy. Look at
you talking about?
I got it.
You talking about the sister plane?
Yeah, I'm just talking about a Boeing 737.
Okay.
Like, you know, like the 777, right? You know, it's all about the sevens. Anyway, so let's troll you for a little bit more. Aaron, let's troll you. Okay, here's the video here.
How do you like that?
You didn't want to play it. I'm gonna play it. You didn't want to play it. I'm playing it.
No, go ahead.
Right?
Yeah, but how do you like that thumbnail, dude? Look, a 7-minute, 30-second video.
Hey, Ruth,
where do you want to go here?
Ruth, you got to go into editing and pick a different timestamp on that video, bro.
I know Amy and I talked about it. I thought about leaving it.
Hey, Gandalf, look at the views.
Oh,
77.
77 views.
Hey, Aaron, numbers don't lie, buddy. 130 views. Okay, so seriously, you want me to? We're gonna play this.
No, go ahead.
Breadcrumbs for truthers. Right now, there's 38 watching. We probably should have 39. That would be better with the 13. But we can talk about Betty later. Lively's in the house tonight. Lively gets love. Lively number 2. Johnny Supertramp's in the house. Johnny. Aaron.
Yeah.
Johnny. Lively's the clown. We're gonna go there. And Cappy has been clowned, but where are you? Hearts of Desire? Nope.
Are you?
Here's our chat room.
Are you sure that Mark is sharing, or am I just?
It's you.
Oh,
I can see you.
Okay, no, I see what the problem is. For some reason, this got stopped.
So, Aaron.
Yeah, man. What's up?
We'll play your, and then you can discuss that, and I'll have my say on that because I haven't said my Canadiana, but look at the windows I got opened, right?
Yeah.
My Canadian viewers, look at the windows I got open. Okay? Those in the chat, you can see where I'm going. Maybe not with that one. Here.
Hey, just let me know when the Canadian government blames one of your forest fires on a conspiracy theorist.
that
It's
was a good one.
probably coming.
Coming.
Pretty
Here
soon,
it is here, though.
everything will be blamed on conspiracy theorists. Good thing I'm a conspiracy analyst.
That's what it's about there in Canada right there. Maxime Bernier.
Blames. Yeah.
Yeah. We have to go back to you. Where are you, Rufus Cat? Where are you? We have to find your channel. We're there. That's you. There it is. There you are. Are you picking your nose here, bro? What are you doing here?
I was talking about that I feel like I'm being led around by the nose. And literally I did that for about 1 second in a 7-minute video. And that's the frame that the computer chose to use. And it was a cell phone upload. So when I uploaded it, it didn't give me options for, of course I know I can change it now, but I mean, I can, change it later and whatever. But it was just a cell phone upload. It was just a quick monologue on my cell phone. And I just used my cell phone to upload it. No editing. And yeah, it's hilarious. It chose that one moment in a 7.5-minute video. Looks like I'm picking my nose. I'm not.
Okay, so like everyone knows, I'm on the satellite, so sometimes it doesn't always go through because I've got quite a few windows open right now, as Amy is well aware about data and gigabytes.
Yes.
I'm concerned
There's a good one.
I'm concerned about your audio coming through.
There's a nice discussion to have later on. Cappy the Capster, keybase bug. That was a good one. Cappy, given that keybase virus. Cappy. Oh yeah, okay, we can't go there yet. But we need to go and show Aaron. We need your video. We're not lining you up with Cappy, are we? No. Here we go. I'm going to give you a big screen share, okay? So what I want to do is I want to go into the chat. I want to go into the chat while this is playing and see comments. But I won't be able to do that without screen sharing. So right. I'm going to play just your speech, okay, Aaron? That sounds good, eh? And then I can go into the chat.
Yeah, there's nothing to see but me sitting there talking. So
yeah, there's nothing to see. We don't want to see you picking your nose, right? Clown. Okay, seriously, no, serious subject, but I want to see the comment. I'm going into the chat room. I'm going to play the volume. Probably could have played this at the start, but we're going to get to this anyway, weren't we?
I'm a contractor. When I do a job, I'm usually proud of it. Usually, as long as it's a good job. When I take something broken and I fix it. When I take something messed up and I make it better. When I take something that's old and ugly and I make it beautiful, flat, level, square, plumb, solid, long-lasting. Something that I can walk away from and be proud of. I'm proud. I'm proud of that work. I'm proud of my accomplishment. I'm proud of my achievement. This video is inspired by Josh's recent upload and also a comment by dear Adelaide, who we love around here. Adelaide has supported my channel for a long time, been with me from the beginning of CONHWC, and I replied to her. Josh was talking about being white, being proud, being a white nationalist or whatever, identifying with that. And Adelaide commented, you should do a white pride live stream. I don't know if she was being sarcastic, and I don't care. But my reply to her was this. None of us are born and choose our parents. None of us choose to be white or black. None of us choose our heritage. So to say that you're proud of being white or black or gay is a non sequitur. It just logically doesn't follow. You can't claim to be proud of something that you didn't accomplish. You can't be proud of something that you didn't choose. If your Aunt Martha died and left you a bunch of money, is that something to be proud of? The money that you got? You didn't choose to have an Aunt Martha. You didn't choose for her to die. You didn't choose for her to have the money to give you, and you didn't choose that she decided to give it to you. I almost used the example of winning the lottery, but somebody could at least come back and say, well, you chose to play the lottery, so whatever. Fact is, I'm a straight white male, and like Josh, I see some of the things that he sees, and not everything that he says he sees. I don't see blonde hair, blue eyed people disappearing. I mean, there's immigration. There are Southern Latinos, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, and they come north. Huge numbers. They have birth rates higher than ours, and maybe one day, maybe soon, white people will be a minority, but that doesn't mean that we're disappearing. So just don't really agree with that. Josh said that he sees a distinct difference in the way he's treated as a straight white male when he's out in public. I'm a straight white male, and I don't see it. I go to restaurants, I go to bars, I go to convenience stores, I go to grocery stores. I hold the door for black people. They hold the door for me. I'm served by black people. I'm a contractor. I work for black people. You know what? When it's one-on-one, people tend to treat each other with respect as long as they get respect. And that's been my experience my whole life. All the shit we see online, most of it's nonsense. It's specifically designed to stir up your emotions, lead you by the nose. I kind of feel like someone's leading me by the nose all the time, and it's a thing that I have to work against. All these articles are designed to do in the emotional falls. It works, man. It works. It works. But we don't choose who we are. We don't choose our parents. We don't choose our skin color. When you grow up, you can choose to change culture. You're going to grow up in an environment, and when you reach the age of what they call enlightenment, when you're 13 and you become an adult, and you start really thinking for yourself, you can choose a different culture. You can choose to act differently. You can choose to support different things, hang around different people. You can change your culture. You can choose your culture. Ask any gay person, and they will tell you it's not a choice. I didn't choose to be white. You didn't choose to be black or Asian or Muslim or Arab. I'm not proud of being white. I didn't work towards this. There's no reason to be proud of being white, black, Latino, gay. No reason to be gay pride parades. There's no reason. There's no reason to have parades to show how proud you are to be something you didn't freaking choose or you didn't work towards. So, this video is already 6 minutes long. I think I made my point. I'm going to pause and think about it if I want to add anything, but that's pretty much it. I guess I should just clarify that although I didn't work towards being white, So therefore, I really have no reason to be proud to be white. I'm not disappointed. I want to make that clear to make it clear. I'm not disappointed. It just is. It just is. I am this, and you are that, and there's no reason to be proud of your genes. You didn't choose. You didn't work towards it. It's not a goal that you worked hard and accomplished. That's something to be proud of. So I made my point, and I'm getting chewed up by mosquitoes. So I will see you guys tomorrow. We got Mark from Global Agenda who's going to join us on CONHWC, and
Global Agenda.
be good to each other.
Global
See you guys later.
does an excellent job of going out and catching these moments.
Oh, you really? You're going to
segue
right into Cappy? I wasn't even done talking.
You like how I did that? I wasn't trying to do that. I did that on purpose. I wanted to lead you into this guy because he's live right now.
Eve,
Hey?
what are you?
Oh.
Hey, these live casts are great. Hold on. You know what? We're gonna get in. I'm gonna have to hit the stop Lionel button.
You know, by the way, interesting.
Look at that was last night exposing Jordan. I want to. I got to pick up the comment. We have to pick up the comment from KJ. You want to talk about that, right? But we'll pick that up after we discuss this. What you just discussed, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, does anyone in the chat know when Justin Trudeau became the Prime Minister of Canada? I'm not looking. It was November 2015?
Yeah, it was November 2015.
Was, right? 2015.
Yeah, I remember that day, dude, because I was going to go and vote, and then I just figured, who the fuck am I going to vote for, man? Who do we got in Canada to vote for other than maybe the Libertarian Party, you know what I mean? That, or should I vote Marxist-Leninist or something like that, man?
Yeah.
Right on,
Trudeau.
Johnny Supertramp's going to come on with us again. He's going to talk about his DMT experience. I've been really wanting to discuss that with him. Last time he was on, he mentioned it, and we didn't have time to get into it.
Trudeau had the he had the pedigree to become the prime minister because of his old man. So I just want to get the date. That's all I'm looking for, right? When did he become? When did he become?
It was. I know it was in November. I just forget the exact date.
Should be here, right? He's gonna be here. Became the prime minister. Assumed office. There it is. There, October 14th. Assumed office. No, that was member of parliament.
Hang on, Mark.
Became the prime.
Hang on, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
There it is. There, November 4th.
I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Okay,
but you played my video and you said you were going to comment. You haven't commented, and people in the chat are talking about the subject. So, what are your thoughts on the subject?
Yeah, right now. I'm coming back to it right now. I'm going back. I'm doing a full circle. Sorry,
okay.
Aaron.
Okay.
I'm doing a full
because I want to respond. I want to respond to. I want to respond to Bite Me. So I'll go ahead and finish, and then we'll come back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, okay. So the agenda in Canada is what's happened in the States. And unfortunately, our 23rd PM has been all about splitting and dividing. So outside of the LGBT, we've got confrontations now between whites and Muslims and East Indians now. It's like they're pitting one against the other. So I was born, personally, I was born and raised on the other side of the tracks in Scarborough and West Hill. And when I grew up, I went through public school in a white middle class. And I remember in grade 3 seeing my first Asian classmate. And by the end of grade 3 and by the end of grade 5, I would say that David Chang, and there's a few more letters attached to that, was my best friend. And I was a white guy. And I was a little white guy growing up in a white neighborhood with 3 sisters, white middle class, dad welder, mom retail in Scarborough, Ontario. And from there, I was eyes wide open to cultural diversity, because I would walk home with David from my little public school, and all of a sudden he has to do homework. And he's like, it's like 4:00, and I go by his house, and his mom, Chinese lady, boom, on the doorstep, go do your homework. I'm going, oh, okay. What do I do when I go home? Little 10-year-old white kid. Street hockey. Go and play burpee. Burpee is when you pitch at the wall with the box and you try to strike out your friend and you blow your arm out.
Hey,
That's what I was doing.
Hey, Globe, what year was that?
I'm a child of the 60s, so we're going to go into late 70s.
Oh, wow, man. I was born in Scarborough General in 89, dude.
There you go. I'm Toronto East York. So my roots are in Scarborough and West Hill. I went to Laurier. Paul Bernardo, I went to school. He was 5 years at my high school. I knew Paul Bernardo personally, and then he was in my prison for friggin' 2.5 years. So I'm Scarborough through and through. But I'm talking about the diversity of Scarborough. And now what I've witnessed in Toronto, and when I worked in the prison, I used to be on a committee, a Scarborough Cultural and Recreation Committee, because Scarborough is very diverse in Toronto. It's like huge. It's huge. It's ground zero for ethnicity. And I used to sit in this committee with all basically, I was one of the only white guys on the committee, but I knew what the committee's purpose was for diversity. So I've seen it. I've lived on both sides of it as a white guy. 3 of my best friends in life, out of my 5 best friends, if you can classify best friends, 1 from Trinidad Tobago and the other 2 from Jamaica, and they're all black guys, and I all met them in the prison. They were my lifelong friends, but I have lifelong friends before that. When I look back at my best friends in life, I'm going to say that more than 50% of my best friends in life are from the ethnical side of things. So if I comment, and when I can comment, I was in charge of a prison in Scarborough of 300 people plus. And to get elected in that little dynamic, you have to you have to reach out to everybody in your own ethnicity in your little dynamic. And I was always, when I ran for council, I was like Mr. Lionel Nation, run for council. My thing is from the people for the people, and that's the way I like to treat my channel. So what I'm witnessing in Canada right now, and Aaron, what you said is passionate, but there was no need for you to say what you said. But I know what you had to get out there. You had to say that. You had to get out there and say that. And you could lead a dialogue on being a white man in today's.
But there is an explanation in the Grudge episode. Not to be visualized. There are true mysteries. They'll rise up to the public.
As we shut off dark journalists.
Hello?
Hey, mate.
I don't know if anyone can present again.
I'm going back live to the chat right now.
Okay, so give me your thoughts on my little monologue, Mark.
Well, you're speaking from, you live in Georgia, right? So you're you're in a hot spot for racial tension. And
Sure.
for you to have to make that kind of a video to feel that way, it's heartwarming. I could do the same video up here, but I'm not getting caught up in that side of the divide and conquer. But how long have you felt that way?
Well, probably most of my life, but it really didn't cement in my mind until after I watched Josh's video, saw Adelaide's comment, you know, just this thought clicked in my head, and it occurred to me what I had been pretty much, you know, feeling and considering probably forever. Because when I hear people talk about, you know, and I did mention gay pride, you know, and, you know, black pride, white pride, and, you know, people talk about being proud of their race and proud of their heritage. And, you know, you hear these mantras occasionally throughout your entire life. And it never really resonated with me. I never understood why people feel proud that their skin color is what it is. You know what I mean? And Bite Me a moment ago, I'm looking for it now because it's some time has gone by. He said something about that he's proud of his heritage. Let me scroll back down. I passed it up. He said something about, you know, that he was proud of his heritage. And Johnny did the same thing. You know, Johnny he's Native American, and, you know, he's proud of his heritage and proud of his nation and proud of who he is. And that's all good. My point that I think I really was trying to make, and maybe I should have thought about it longer and maybe wrote some stuff down or some notes or something and really clarified a little bit better. I think the problem with a lot of people, and even thinking smart people, that the word pride is misconstrued, and maybe it's just my opinion, because I don't understand how people can be proud of their heritage when you weren't involved in it, and the people we're talking about, you know, the generations that came before you, and sure, there were struggles, and somebody commented under my video about this, about generations, you know, 1,000 years and all the struggles that made me who I am, right? All the people who got together and then bang, here I am. And the same person said, look, you can be proud of your mom and your brother and whatever. And he said, it's the same about heritage. I don't see it because, you know, the people that came before me, I didn't know them. And yes, I can be proud of my friends and my family, my close associates. I can be proud for them. I mean, no, I can be proud of them, not proud for them. In other words, if they accomplish something, like say a friend of mine quits smoking or loses weight or you know, goes to college late and gets a degree or whatever, accomplishment, I can share in his pride because I'm associated with him. But I don't understand. I don't have any sense of pride for people that I've never met. And I don't have any sense of pride for choices that I never made or accomplishments that I never accomplished, goals that I never achieved. That's just how I see pride.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Well, I think that it goes back to the earliest form of human worship of anything was ancestor worship, right?
True,
Now,
it was tribal. It was, you know, family living out in the plains and raided by their neighbor tribes and whatever.
Well, the whole thing is people used to worship their ancestors to such an extent that they would actually let their bones be rotted out in the open sun by birds, and then they would bury their bones underneath.
Oh, dude, they still do that in Tibet. That's what I want done when I die. I tell my family all the time, take me out on the hill and let the buzzards have me. Pick my bones clean.
Well,
I honestly don't think it's bad, though, if you're going to honor your ancestors. Like, I'm proud of, like, what my ancestors did. My ancestors were from some of the first Canadians that came over in the 1600s to Quebec, you know, like.
But just think closely about how you're using the word pride. I'm not trying to talk you out of being proud of your ancestors. I'm just saying, think carefully about how you use that word pride and what it really means.
Well, no, it's just about being like proud of like where you came from, you know, like they had to go through some shit slogging through the
but you didn't do that.
Fighting you know, who who knows what kind of fucking shit.
Well,
You know?
okay. Explain to me how you can be proud because some people you never met went through some shit.
Well, it's just you just need to respect that times were hard back then. You know
I
what
do.
mean?
See, that's a good word. I respect. I'm not proud, but go ahead. This is where I have a disconnect, and please just, I know I'm interrupting you, but help me out here, because if I'm wrong and if you hold a different viewpoint, and I know that a lot of people do, go ahead. Help me understand this.
Well, you know, you got to think about what it was like for the first people to come over to North America. You know what I mean? You know, it was like a wilderness, right? So these people were, some people starved to death. Some people were freezing to death in their log cabins. You know, they went through some hard times to be able to build the civilization that now exists here in North America. Like, it wasn't easy. Like, so you got to look back and be like, fuck, like, wow, thank you, great granddaddy. You know what I mean? Like, shit, like, you went through a hard time in order to get me to this point, you know, because you wouldn't be here if it weren't for your ancestors. And that's why you got to understand, like, why people used to have ancestor worship. Oh, did you hear about Gamokatuk, who defeated the leader of the Kamok tribe, you know, 10,000 years ago? Like, they, you know, nothing really changes over time, but it slowly over time, civilizations developed, right? So you got to honor your ancestors, like, to some extent. Like, I'm not saying, like, hate other people's ancestors, or...
Well, I'm not saying not honor ancestors. I'm not saying that at all. I totally get that. I honor my ancestors. I respect my ancestors. I appreciate the struggles that people I never met went through. I know that a lot of people went through a lot of hard shit to make civilization what it is, and to the point where I popped into the existence. But I don't feel proud. I don't feel a sense of pride for the accomplishments of others. You know what I mean?
No, I see what you're saying there, but, like, you're saying you shouldn't take on their accomplishments as, like, something you did, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know what it means to me to feel proud, and it's usually, and not usually, it's always when I accomplish an achievement, when I reach a goal, or I do something that can be appreciated.
No, I dig that. I just think it's something really human. But it is quite tribal. I understand what you're saying, to you know, look back and be proud of, like, what your ancestors accomplished. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get that. You
know, when people, you know, like Johnny Supertramp said that he's proud of his nation. I mean, his heritage. You know, he's Native American, and that's fantastic. My best friend when I was in high school, my very best friend, one of my best friends in the whole world, was full-blooded Navajo, and he was killed in a car accident. But we buried him on the reservation up at Window Rock, Arizona. So when people say that they're proud of their ancestors or proud of their heritage, let me see. Hang on. I almost got off into a tangent and almost lost my train of thought. I'm not, here's what I'm not saying. This is, like, the main point, because what I've said in my video was really misconstrued by a couple of people, and particularly Josh. What I'm not saying is that I'm not sorry that I'm white. I'm not making any apologies that I'm white. I have no reason to apologize. I'm not a cuck. And, you know, I don't have white guilt. Okay. I make no fucking apologies. I think you guys know me well enough. And I'm not at all saying that I don't or shouldn't or I don't agree when people say that they respect and they honor their ancestors. I'm wholeheartedly on board with this idea. I just think that the word pride is misused.
No, and it's really construed and it's taken to extremes by certain people. You know, Amy just left a good comment. She says, "I'm proud of humanity." You know, I think we all need to be proud of humanity. Like, it's been a collective effort by all the different civilizations on Earth for us to get to the point that we're at now. Western knowledge, the history that we have of the ancient Greeks, like the classical period of Greece, is completely reliant on the Arabs, on Muslims. You know, like a lot of advancements came out of China, you know, and India.
You know, it's funny you should say that. I was actually going to touch on this, hopefully and I was hoping for a segue. I just recently learned that Arab Muslims are responsible for our current modern mathematics system. They're the ones who invented or created algebra and algorithms.
Oh, certainly.
And that's why they're called algebra and algorithm.
Well,
Yep.
you gotta remember that through after the fall of the Roman Empire, the Arabs arose maybe about 400 or about 250, 300 years after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. And, you know, the entire Western Roman Empire and a lot of the Eastern Roman Empire was overrun by, like, the Alemanni, like Burgundians, Visigoths, Ostrogoths, and these people completely tore up, like, all of the old institutions that had kept Western civilization, like the Roman Empire, going for hundreds of years. And, you know, where was all the knowledge kept of what went on during the Roman Empire? All of this information was kept alive by the Muslims. Now, people seem to have a really weird negative idea of Islam and the Muslims. Now, during the time of the caliphs, it wasn't like the Islam you see today. Modern Wahhabism, modern radical Islam, was mostly developed by the people who followed Ibn Wahhab, who came out of Saudi Arabia in the late 1800s. So our entire idea of Islam is based off of something that's only been going on for about 100 years. You know, like if you were to have looked from space down onto Earth 1,000 years ago, you would see lights coming from the Middle East, and you'd see lights in Spain. But in Northern Europe, you would see campfires. Similar to when you look at Africa today. Europe went into a dark age, like a serious dark age, and we'd have nothing if it weren't for the Muslims. And that's why this whole war of civilizations that Bush launched is complete bullshit, you know, this quasi-crusader escapade into the Middle East, man.
Right, and actually, you probably would have seen lights as far back as 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000 years ago in Mesopotamia and Egypt.
Oh yeah, because oil was always coming out of the ground, like the ancient.
No, I mean they actually had electricity.
Oh, certainly, yeah. Like you're talking about, like the Baghdad or the Baghdad battery or whatever.
Yeah. That's the real deal. I mean, I've done experiments and I've gotten voltage out of a glass of wine.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we totally discount ancient peoples. You know what I mean? And that's something that you know, maybe that's another topic. Like maybe you should get Michael Cremo back on for a Lost Civilizations talk, man.
Amy's in touch with him, and we invited him, and he had, I think, a medical issue. No. He had a tour. He's on tour right now, and he's going to be. That was months ago, Amy. What? If your audio is any good, can you give us any kind of update on that, just real quick?
I think she's having malfunctions.
Well, Amy's in touch with Michael Cremo, and we invited him, and he agreed to come back. It's just that it was going to be after his. I think he's got a new book tour or a speaking tour of some kind.
I can begin and see what I can do.
Right on. Like, yeah, that's one of the most fascinating people in the entire alternative media, Michael Cremo. Like, the information that he has, like, it should throw up red flags in anyone's mind, the stuff that guy's uncovered. But, you know, all of modern history at this point is completely based on, it's all based on outdated information. And maybe these people who wrote these books had the information, but they wanted to try and suppress this as well as they could about the accomplishments that were taking place 10,000 years ago with Göbekli Tepe. You know, if you open up a modern textbook, you can look into it, and you'll start with the earliest civilizations, and that was Sumeria, that was the early Kingdom of Egypt, and some of the Indus Valley civilizations like Mohenjo-daro. But that's now been completely turned on its head because that was 6,000 years ago. 6,000 years before Mohenjo-daro, Samaria, and the early kingdoms of Egypt was the time of Göbekli Tepe. So it's all bullshit. Like, all history books are all just garbage, man. They all need to be rewritten and start from scratch.
Yeah,
I'm gonna break in here because right now my CPU is behaving.
Okay.
I will get in touch with Michael Cremo and see if I can get him back on.
awesome,
Right on, Amy.
awesome.
All right, and carry on.
Okay, Gandalf, that's all fascinating shit, and we could do a whole show just on.
Yeah. Let's not go in the deep end.
Yeah, but we're in the weeds, and Mark has been silent, and I'm curious if he's trying not to engage the topic very much, or if he's just busy reading the chat.
I'm engaging. I'm not reading the chat. I'm setting up. You know about the Shriners and their logo?
Yeah, they're Turkish. Turkish Freemasons.
The emblem on the front of the fez, the crescent, and the scimitar is an important part of the fraternity's theme and is representative of the characteristics embodied by the Shriners. The scimitar stands for the backbone of the fraternity, its members. The two claws are the Shriners' fraternity and its philanthropy. The Sphinx stands for the governing body of the Shriners. The five-pointed star represents thousands of...
The Sphinx stands for the governing body?
Yep. This is from their own webpage, Shriners International.
So that's astrotheology then. Do you realize
definitely
the Sphinx is there's a lot of question that they think it was arguing over whether it was a lion or the dog Anubis. I got news for you.
Right.
The head of the Sphinx is Virgo and the tail of the Sphinx is Leo, and that's the beginning and the ending of the zodiac in the Egyptian tradition. So I could go into a whole freaking tangent on that subject, but wow, the Sphinx is the governing body. The Sphinx is the representation of the zodiac, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. Astrotheology. Ba-bam. Go ahead, Mark. Continue.
That was good. So when you look at it, the five-pointed star represents the thousands of children helped in the they're all philanthropists, right? So that's what. Yeah, okay. The emblem also bears a phrase "Robur a Furo," which means strength and fury. But we're talking about the Quran and the Muslims, and you know what? Why is a royal order of the appendant body to Freemasonry? Why are they full of the like you said, the Turkish? You got the half moon, the star. They're just full of the old Arabian Nights.
The fez is the whirling dervish. That ceremony or dance and tradition is it's when they wear the fez. It's Turkish in nature, in origin.
That's right. And how come Turkey is always the one that's being the bad boy? How come you get Turkish bombings? And Turkey, there seems to be a lot of crap goes on in Turkey, especially with regime change and whatnot. Turkey's always in the limelight for some reason.
Well, Turkey,
they're deep in it, dude. They've been around forever.
Well, Turkey's a modern creation, right? Turkey didn't exist in World War II. I mean, World War I.
Well, the border of Turkey didn't exist, but the people, the culture, the government, it's not like nobody was there.
No. Like modern Turkey was created by what's his name? Oh God, what's that old guy's name? Ataturk. And modern Turkey.
Ottoman Turks.
Yeah, but Kemal. Oh, that's it. Kemal Ataturk. And
Yeah.
basically, they reformed the remnants of the Ottoman Empire into modern day Turkey. And the Ottomans had been developing in that region since the 1200s. And over 200 years, they were eventually able to take over the last remaining bits of the Eastern Roman Empire. And that didn't fall until I think it was the year that Christopher Columbus was born, was when the Ottomans finally took Constantinople and renamed it Istanbul.
Good point. Good point.
Handsome Truth is in the chat. Welcome.
Oh no, I don't think it is, man. I think this is border of chaos, man.
Border chaos. We're not being trolled that tonight, though, eh?
No. Luckily, it's a pretty chills chat so far.
I think that what you said earlier about Aaron said maybe it was just about the QAnon. You know, once the word got out that this channel's talking live about QAnon, that's when we got hit.
That's exactly what I think it was.
Yeah, and it was in the title of show too. It was QAnon and on and on.
Yeah,
I know that we're dropping ancient archaeology and architecture could be part of the discussion as well, because I'm on the wiki page now. It says some of the earliest shrine centers often choose a Moorish revival style for their temples. Architecturally notable Shriner temples include the Shrine Auditorium in LA, which we know. So you know what the Shrine Auditorium is now, right?
The Shrine Auditorium?
That's Jimmy. Yeah, it used to be the Freemasonic temple, right?
Oh,
the former Mecca temple.
Kimmel Studio? Yeah, Kimmel Studio?
Yeah, that's in LA.
The Shrine Auditorium. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's where they have the Academy Awards, and right?
Yep.
There it is. I got a screen. That's it. That's the Academy Awards, right? Okay. So the former Mecca temple, now called New York City Center, and used primarily as a concert hall. Newark Symphony Hall, the Landmark Theater, formerly the Mosque in Richmond, Virginia, the Tripoli Shrine Temple in Milwaukee, the Pauli Rosenbaum Building, formerly the El Zariba Shrine in Phoenix, the Helena Civic Center in Montana, formerly the Algeria Shrine Temple, and the Abu M Shrine Mosque in Springfield, Missouri, and the Fox Theater, where you are, Aaron, in Atlanta, Georgia, which was jointly built between the Atlanta Shriners and movie mogul William Fox. So hello. And then, of course, we've got the Shriner hospitals. So there's in 2008, the Shriner hospitals had a total budget of $826 million. In 2007, they approved 39,454 new patient applications and attended to 125,125 patients.
Well,
125.
This might be a bit of a segue, but I actually owe my life to the Shriners Hospital, eh?
Good for you, man.
So I like the Shriners, man.
They do good, man. I'm not knocking what they do.
Here's just a little interesting gem. You guys know
I'm not knocking who they.
The concept of the shrine.
Sorry?
Where the shrine? Where does the shrine come from?
Yeah, it's the holy shrine, Jerusalem.
It's Hindu.
It's Hindu, yeah. They're Hindus.
All religion actually ties back to the very, very, very ancient Hindu.
All roads lead to Rome, right?
Well, they do, and then they go from there to India.
Yes. But that's going full circle back to why I brought in the Shriners and why, they're not. These guys aren't reading the new international version of the Bible. Let me tell you that straight up. To become a Shriner, you need to be a 33rd, and from the 33rd, you need to go into other spiritual realms, and that's when they go into Buddhism and that, you know, very Indian. Yeah, they're definitely not Catholic. There's no Catholicism to the Shriners, that's for sure.
Well, no, but there is in Freemasonry.
Why do you think?
You know, there's only one.
Why do you think?
There's only one group.
Why do you think?
There's only one demographic of people on the entire planet that are not accepted in Freemasonry. Do you know what that is? What demographic of human beings? What group of people are not accepted as Freemasons?
Native Americans?
Nope.
Talking about inclusivity, would they include that? Would they say that? What
Well,
you're about to say? Where does that
Yeah.
come from?
Well, the reason is where I'm going. But I'm just curious if you guys know the answer to this question.
Atheists.
Thank you, Amy.
Atheists.
Atheists are the only ones.
Atheists.
I hear you, Amy. We
you
got
can't
you.
hear me, but I'm saying
We hear you,
atheists.
Amy. We hear you. Maybe you can't
Good
hear
question.
us. No, that's the
Good
only.
question.
No, think
Good
about
answer.
this for a second. Think about this for just a second. Atheists are
Woohoo!
the only group of
Oh
people
my
that are not allowed in Masons. No, Laz, women are allowed in Masons. What's it called? It's the Order of the Eastern Star. It's the Order of the Eastern Star. That's the female auxiliary Masonic order, the Order of the Eastern Star. But atheists are the only group of people not allowed in Masonry. And do you know why?
No,
Because
why?
we have to believe in a higher power.
Because that's how the Masons are controlled.
Yes.
Because they believe as they enter and raise through the ranks of their order, they believe more and more. They get these secrets about, you know, life and the universe and God and the nature of the universe and who the real gods are and that kind of shit. But there are no real gods. And atheists don't fall for that nonsense.
That's right.
But if you're a Mason and you're told what are purported to be secrets about the reality of the universe and who God really is and yada yada yada, then you're going to believe that shit and you're going to do as you believe. This is why I'm outspoken as an atheist, because our beliefs govern our behavior.
True.
And that's how Masons are controlled. So there it is. I don't know what I interrupted, but I interrupted Mark on something.
No,
I do that a lot around here.
No, he didn't interrupt me on that. No, because I was just making the comparison about the boys in the little race cars and the Turkish flag. So all roads lead to Rome, and then they also lead, like you said, they lead down the what do they call it? The Silk Road.
It's the Silk Road.
Yeah,
To Bombay.
Silk Road. Yeah, it's the Silk. Yeah, read about it. Yeah, but no, good point. But I think
Bollywood.
yeah, I think in the big picture, there is a bigger picture, and that's what we're trying to. I'm looking down at the header again. Breadcrumbs for truthers, right? Like, holy cow! Like, you want to start off with the biblical. I think that's where the biggest conspiracy to this day begins is with the Bible. I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm no expert on. I'm no expert on theology. I think that, like what we were talking about briefly, and I think in the chat, I think that I know for a fact that Gandalf brought it up. He said that we have been indoctrinated with false education, and I totally agree with that, because we could probably go back to our grade 1 tutorials and pick away from grade 1 right through to grade 12, 13 here in Canada when we went to grade 13. And we could probably call the majority of what they taught us, we could probably raise a flag about 2/3 of what they taught us in school. And I'm not talking about flat earth, you know. But how come they haven't told us about frequency? You know, how come even engineers have to seal an oath to secrecy, as I'm starting to understand, because I've got a few engineers in my family, including my son. And I'm going, why do they have to take an oath of secrecy and wear the ring on their working hand?
Really?
It's because when shit hits the fan, and I'm going to do a video on it, and the whole engineering and the ring, the little metal ring that they wear on whatever their working hand is, pinky, it all went down to 1922 when a bridge in Quebec, where Maxime Bernier, the racist Quebecois, where he's from, in 1922 a bridge collapsed, and then all of a sudden they had to have standards in Canada, and that's when the whole engineering oath became a reality. And that's funny enough, in 1922 is when the 1922 the first Shriners Hospital opened in Shreveport, Louisiana. 1922. But you see what I'm saying here.
I'm gonna give a quick impression here. Okay, tell me how well I do.
Go ahead, man.
The conservative have abandoned conservative. That is why I am leaving the Conservative Party.
Maxime Bernier.
Maxime, so what do you think about this whole Maxime kind of quasi that thing, his tweets that can be construed as racist?
Well, he just came on, right? August 24th. I'm looking at Jihad Watch here. Canada MP Maxime Bernier quits to start new Conservative party, citing extreme multiculturalism and fake conservatives. So this guy he ran against the present Conservative leader of Canada, who would be third in line to become the Prime Minister. So the divorce between Mr. Bernier goes back to his ouster in June from his role as innovative critic in Mr. Scheer's shadow cabinet. The Quebec MP had alleged Mr. Scheer won the leadership in large part because he had the support of fake conservatives set up to be the dairy lobby. So he's saying, we got the dairy lobby, right? Because remember, they were about the tariffs, and it's still going on now. So he's saying that Scheer, played the card with the dairy. But at the same time, Maxime Bernier, I'll be honest with you, my whole thing on Maxime Bernier, Gandalf, he's a spook. He's planted.
Do you think so, eh? Well, man, I'm not even so sure. Man, I'm not even so sure. I kind of like Maxime. I like his anti. Well, the whole thing is, when it came to the party nomination, I actually voted for Maxime Bernier to win the party convention there with the Conservatives.
You're a card-carrying member.
Well, because he's libertarian.
You're card-carrying.
Well, yeah, I did so I could vote for Maxime because he's libertarian, right? What's really strange about this whole thing with Maxime Bernier is there's basically in Canada, for everyone not in Canada, there's the Conservative Party, which is a relatively new party, and it's only ever been headed by one guy, Stephen Harper, who was voted out in the election between Justin Trudeau, Thomas Mulcair, and Steve Harper. So Steve Harper was booted out in 2015. Now, remember all the shit that fucking Stephen Harper got up to. Stephen Harper was involved with the Afghan war. He was involved with bombing Libya. So these fuckers had to get the fucking boot, man. So fuck the Conservative Party. These guys are like wannabe American neocon hawks. Now, what is Andrew Scheer? Andrew Scheer is like he's like Stephen Harper Jr. basically is what Andrew Scheer is.
Yeah. He's Harper Light.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting involved into wars. we're going to be going and bombing who, God knows fucking who, if this fucking jackass gets in, man. So I'm thinking about voting for Maxime Bernier when the election comes, man, just to fucking screw the Conservative Party over.
Yeah, if the vote really counts, right? If the vote really counts.
Yeah, well, I'd rather have Justin Trudeau as our prime minister than I would this fucking whack job Andrew Scheer.
I just don't like his smile. I mean, he's got a cheesy smile, that guy. Like, his smile is very, ooh.
Does he not look like a 10-year-old who just successfully got off with robbing a Mars bar at all times?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maxime Bernier, if I was in Quebec, I would probably be leaning towards a guy like him anyway, because he seems to me like a no-nonsense guy. You know, he's not going to drain the swamp, but he's a no-nonsense guy. But I think that what they did with the racism charges against Bernier that was a Trudeau psyop. That's what I was going to lead into after we were talking about Canadiana and the white, right? Because now we never grew up with divide and conquer and divisiveness and race, and now all of a sudden here in Canada it's been manufactured that, you know, we're not a multiculturalism nation anymore. We're like a melting pot, and that's what Canadians always say. Oh, please don't turn us into a melting pot like the States, right? So, yeah, it's, to me, the Bernier, when I say he's a part of a psyop, they've created that divide and conquer intention by putting him out there. And now, you know what? They'll be able to see how popular he is if he does. Well, he's saying that he's going to form another political party, isn't he?
Well, he is, and his current standing is somewhere around 13-14% in the most recent polls. Yeah, and in places like Alberta, he's standing at 20% support.
Crazy.
Yeah, so so Maxime's party that just started, it doesn't even have a name, is now already pulling ahead the Green Party and the Bloc Québécois.
So he's gonna take this party and go federal with it. He's not gonna stay provincial.
No,
because he was.
Oh, it's for the federal election in 2019.
Yeah, he's putting his ducks in a row right now.
Oh yeah, so everything's getting started. He's being contacted by hundreds of people wanting to become MPs, and yeah, it's full steam ahead. Like, so hopefully it can crash the Tory party. Hopefully, so we're not going to go and bomb God knows who. You know what I mean?
Did you see what the boys in the chat said? I'm just looking at the chat. They just said that you owe a lot of money in the swear jar tonight, and because you're dropping the bombs.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully, there's no kids watching. You know, I get worked up with this Canadian politics stuff, man. Like, it drives me nuts, like how complacent most people are in this country to all the shit that our government's gotten up to over the years, man. Yeah,
good for you though. You care, man. You care. You know, I think it's a done deal, but you still have to voice. There has to be a collaborative on the opinions of others. It's like you can't be silenced down. And in Canada, it looks like they're on their way to censoring us as much as they are down in the States, right? But so if Maxime is he's gonna go out there and they're already calling him a racist.
Oh,
so
God.
If he's gonna go out there and, I mean, regardless of what happened to him, that's what the media is already painting as. You know, that's why he's basically had to resign from national politics with the feds, right? With the Tories and federal. But if he's going to be that guy that can sway whether you're going to vote for the NDP, you know, the Bap Singh, or Justin. Yeah, I know it. I know. Yeah. Well-spoken man. That's all I got to say. Well-spoken man. And Trudeau, then you know what, he could take some votes and steal the up the middle, right? But that's, if it's a done deal reality-wise in the election, then we have to deal with Trudeau again.
I'm thinking it's most likely going to be a liberal minority government. I bet money it's going to be a Justin Trudeau minority.
So Trudeau's been knighted?
Oh, has he?
Has he?
Yeah, SS 1964 just said Trudeau's been knighted by the Queen as well.
When did that happen? That's big news.
Yeah, that's new information to me.
Is that breaking news? If that's news right now, that's breaking news, man.
SS is saying that he's also probably Castro's son. Well, don't know about that one. Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But Gandalf, I want to ask you, because you guys were talking about Canadian censorship. I've got a note here, and before we get too far off astray, that's a good segue for this question. Gandalf, you left a comment. It was in Skype, I think you were chatting in Skype, and you said something about the CBC channels being taken down for this documentary called Canada People's History.
Yeah. So
What's that?
yes. Well, so basically the CBC is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It's basically the Canadian version of the British Broadcasting Corporation. And these jackasses keep removing the damn Canada, A People's History from YouTube. I've gone through this like fucking 10 times where I've seen the video up, I save it to go watch it, and these jackasses remove it. Our tax dollars pay for this shit, man. And these guys are removing it from YouTube. There's nowhere to watch this. You gotta rent this on a DVD or something, or pay for it off the CBC's own website in order to watch this. Great Canadian history documentary. I recommend anybody that's interested in this shit, if you're interested in Canadian history in the slightest, it's a high production value documentary on our history. And it's currently on YouTube, but it probably won't be there for long.
Josh is
again,
welcome, Josh. We love you, man, and I hope you heard my apology. I made a public apology to you earlier in the stream, bro. Go back and check it out. Anyway, just wanted to make my shit clear to you, Josh. You got my full respect, bro, and I'm glad to see you here. Anyway, back to you, Gandalf.
Yeah, so I just think it's bullshit that these guys are removing documentaries that the Canadian people paid for off of YouTube, man.
The Canadian people paid for this documentary?
Our tax dollars through the CBC. The CBC is a Canadian taxpayer-funded TV station.
Okay, so they're the ones who made the documentary, and if you upload it on YouTube, you get strike or taken down or whatever?
Yeah. So anybody who's been uploading this has been having their channel struck and removed, man.
Wow. So what's it really about, though? I mean, why do you think why do you think they don't like, I mean, do you think it's a copyright thing, or is there something in there? I mean, was there something in there that's maybe too, I want to say too revealing, but now that I think about who produced it, that question kind of goes out the window. I mean, why do you think?
Yeah, like I think it might be part of the reason that it's like, I don't know, they claim ownership of this documentary, but you know what's funny is they have up on their own channel, they have this new updated weird version of Canada's history, and it's kind of done with today's kind of themes and graphics quality. But it's nowhere as good as this one that they released back in the 90s, man, where it really showed what really went down, man. And I don't know, maybe they'd want people to watch that. They don't want them to see this one that was made in the 90s.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So it's a follow-up documentary to something else related.
Well, the follow-up...
Find both?
Well, the follow-up documentary is up. You can watch the follow-up documentary on the CBC's main YouTube channel, but you can't watch the 90s documentary, Canada People's History. People are always uploading it to YouTube, but their channels keep getting taken down whenever they do.
For the old one?
Yeah, for the old one from the 90s.
Oh. And was that produced by CBC as well?
Yeah.
Gandalf, are they getting a strike? Can they remove them just on the one strike though? That you're saying they're getting removed by posting one video of
Yeah,
the history.
yeah, whenever the CBC finds someone who's put up the documentary, they strike their entire channel, claim copyright and everything, and take down their channels.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, and it's total bullshit. Like, we pay the Canadian people technically fund the CBC, so we should be able to watch this damn thing. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Well, you know there ain't no fucking rules in YouTube, right? They do whatever they want. They struck my channel after I deleted a video 3 weeks. By 3 weeks. Gone, deleted off my channel, and 3 weeks later I got a strike. So you guys know that.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
They're scum. They're utter unethical scum on YouTube.
You can't follow the rules when they're going to do shit like that. There are no rules when they do shit like that.
Yes. No rules.
We're just fucking lucky to be here, and that's a fact.
Yes.
Hey, you're goyim. Hey, Aaron, you're a goyim. You're just a goyim. Hey? Oh my god.
Well, to be honest with you, Mark, I could actually claim my little plot of land over in Israel if I wanted to. My mom.
You could, eh?
My mom is Jewish. That makes me, according to the Jewish tradition, if your mother is Jewish, you're a full-blown Jew.
Yep.
You are.
That's true.
Yeah.
I could literally acquire dual citizenship, and I could get a plot of land over there.
Yeah, you're 100%, guy. Somebody says on Cappy the other day. The Cappy, they were asking if Cappy's a Jew, right? And somebody said, yeah, he's a Jew. And the one comment says, yeah, his dad's a Jew. And then another guy came back and commented, no, you're not a Jew if your dad's a Jew. You're only a Jew if your mom's a Jew.
That's right.
And I just laughed. Oh, because I know.
Hey.
And I saw this dialogue going back between these. There's in a Cappy video. And I'm just sitting there going, the dude that says that Cappy said his dad's a Jew, that ain't Cappy no Jew. You gotta come from the womb, man.
Hey, you want to hear a real trip? Hey, you guys want to hear a real trip, man? Kind of close to the whole you technically being Jewish, man. My cousins on my one side of my family are Palestinian Arabs, and on the other side of my family, both first cousins, right? So my first cousins on one side are Palestinian Arabs. On the other side of my family, my first cousins are Jewish, and my cousin actually used to like work on a kibbutz, right? So I got both sides, man.
Well, I actually occasionally make the joke only when I'm in close company, because my father is full-blown German and my mom is full-blown Jew. So I occasionally have the tendency to throw myself into a Holocaust.
Oh God, man, you must be conflicted at all times.
Yeah, I keep trying to crawl into the oven and shit. It's just a stupid joke, okay? Nobody take it personally. Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say, what? That's a bad joke, buddy. Climb into the oven.
You might have took it a little too far there, bro.
Did I step over?
Did
I step over the barbed wire fence?
I'm looking in the chat and I hear that come out of the corner of my ear. I go, what? I go, what? Step back in the coffin? Oh no, the incubator? What did you say? Barbecue? Oh, okay, just call it the smoker.
Johnny said, now I feel bad about the comment I made.
Yeah.
I get it.
Johnny, hey, Johnny's lucky he has a wrench. Otherwise, he'd have to self-censor himself and kick himself out.
All right, enough
Daga,
with the racist
Daga,
jokes. Okay, that's not what we're here for.
hey, you know what, Aaron?
Yeah.
I see we're coming up to 9:30. I've been on the go since like 9:30 this morning. I haven't eaten a thing.
I got shit for sleep.
I
last
think
night.
that the next you can ask if you want to discuss anything update, but I think maybe got 35 people watching. You got activity in the chat. Maybe we can entertain some thoughts from the chat and see what they think. If they want to capitalize some questions.
Good call, bro.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
like a
everyone
plan.
can all have input.
You know what I kind of would like to
But
do for at least a few minutes.
Yeah, you can. But like I said earlier, I got Liz Crokin's on deck, and I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the chat room. It's already been loaded. I did it midweek, and it's basically showing Honeybee Moneybee in that Rappers video from, I think it was like 2010, 2011, where she plays one of the Fly Girls. And the video is just sex, F-bombs galore, yada yada. And I'm basically saying that Honeybee, is this the type of example that you want to set running this kind of a channel? So I'm thinking I've got it ready. Don't know if I want to do it, but I think that I know Lively and Johnny Supertramp and a few other people have said that she needs to be called out. So I just want to bounce it off people. Should I do it? But my Liz Crokin, I've had enough of her, so she's going up tomorrow.
What is the deal with Liz Crokin? Is she still involved with this lawsuit with her millionaire husband over giving her what, herpes or was it hepatitis?
Yeah, herpes. Yeah.
Was it hepatitis or herpes?
No, it was herpes. No, herpes.
Yeah, herpes.
Herpes. Dose. He gave her the dose, and then he questioned it. Right? He questioned it.
Well, wait, back up. For those who, hang on, back up. Hey, RC, welcome. Just for those who don't know, Liz Crokin got sick, and then she went. She started getting symptoms. She went to the doctor. They misdiagnosed her. Her husband never told her, and apparently later on in the articles we find out her ex-husband has an ex-wife who was also infected and an ex-mistress who's also infected. So she gets misdiagnosed and she comes close to death accordingly because she's not being treated, right? Isn't that how that went down? I just want to start like from the beginning on the Liz Crokin thing.
Yeah, go ahead. You're on it. Yeah.
Well, I'm going off memory. I don't have any notes on this, and I'm just going off of memory. And I think you're the one who made the video on it, right?
I did. I'm gonna pull the link for you in a minute. Just keep doing what you're doing because I'm pulling the link now. So I just pulled up her.
So she was dating this very, very wealthy Hollywood mogul, and she was she was a tabloid journalist.
Yeah, he was a sugar daddy for her. Yeah,
yeah. So
he's like 57. She was like 34 at the time, something like that.
Yeah, the dude was like 21, 22 years her senior. Total sugar daddy.
Yeah. Oh, total sugar daddy. Yeah.
And
I'm gonna pull up that link for you in a second for you.
And she was a freaking lowly tabloid reporter. So her main gig was
they said but she in her document, her dossier, her book, whatever she wrote, she says, I was a Hollywood entertainment reporter. Yeah. Here it is here.
Well, I know a guy who's a sanitation engineer, but he just picks up trash all day.
Here it is here. This is from Pop Dust.
You want to do a screen share?
back to that. I got comments coming in from other videos. That's okay. People can see them. I'm going to go back to you. Grab the screencast again. Okay. Not that one. There it is there. Liz Crokin, you got the screen. Can you see it?
Hang on, let me jump back to the page. I got you highlighted. You're not sharing yet. Not coming through yet.
Nope. Oh, okay. I'm going to do it now, yeah.
There you go. Got you.
Yeah. McCain the hero nearly sunk an aircraft carrier. Ooh, ooh. Gotta watch that one. X-Nan, the Copus name. Okay? Gotta watch the McCain stories. You might get censored. This was 8/14/15, okay? So August, 14/15. So what, 3 years ago? Liz Crokin. So she came on the internet around 2016, right? So if you go over to her channel, Lively. I don't know if Lively doesn't give any links, but I do have another Liz Crokin open, I think, somewhere. Of course I do. So where did I open up a Liz? Might be right here. Nope, there's Rufus, our boy. Where's Liz? I got so many windows open. Oh, there's Lionel doing a live stream.
Jeez. He's got to pay for that New York apartment.
Okay, so Liz, this is her surfing accident, okay? So this is the one I'm commenting on in tomorrow's video. There must be something good here because I saved this part of the video.
So let's remember, just for those who are not aware, Liz Crokin is constantly being featured on SGT talking about Q and what Trump is going to do and just keeping that whole narrative alive.
Right. And then last week she was in a surfing accident and she apparently lost 2 pieces of her fingers here at the tips of her fingers. And she's saying in my video, spoiler alert, my video is saying that she says in the video here that she can't afford plastic surgery to save her fingertips. So basically my video tomorrow starts out with her saying that she can't afford plastic surgery, and then you go from there. So she did a 24-minute video here on August 28th, and my video also looks at all the comments, and oh my God, glad you're still alive. So that's when I start doing my old narrative on picking away at her comments. But look at what she says here, and then
I'm gonna see what the insurance looks like, and I'm hoping that insurance, will pay.
That looks like
this is the word she's talking about.
Nice, that looks like a pretty nice loft apartment she's living in there, hanging out.
No, she's in a lodge. I make note of it in my video. She's in a lodge because people are walking by. Look,
back.
See the back there? People walk by. She's in a lobby.
Oh, okay.
You can see her during the video. She's looking at people walking by.
So, whatever it takes. They can look freaking, men look like women, women look like men. They can make anyone look like anyone these days. So, there's gotta be a way to get my freaking fingers back, and I'll figure it out.
It's too late, Liz.
Figure it out. Haha, just kidding.
Look at her. MK Ultra.
It's still out of here. So.
You got 24 hours to reattach tissue. I know this from experience.
No idea how I'm gonna pay for this. I haven't set up a GoFundMe or anything.
You intercepted that. That was the money shot there, Aaron. Did you hear what she said?
I'm sorry. I should shut up more often.
Yeah. Stay quiet. Here's the money shot here.
So, whatever it takes. They can look freaking, men look like women, women look like men. They can make anyone look like anyone these days. So, gotta be a way.
Stay quiet.
To get my freaking fingers back, and I will figure it out. Haha, just kidding. Oh God, it's still out of here. So that's the deal with that, and I have no idea how I'm gonna pay for this. I haven't set up a GoFundMe or anything. Thanks people for thank you those who've asked. I'm gonna see what the insurance looks like, and I'm hoping that insurance, will pay for this or some of this. Or, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a lot of this taken care of, but can't really think about that yet. Just trying to take it one day at a time. And just to address like the crazy rumors.
Listen to this.
So there's people saying that I'm for sure a Satanist now because the Illuminati, they punish their own by cutting off their fingers. And so people are claiming that, like I disobeyed the orders of Illuminati and cut off my fingers as punishment. Or some people think that, I got my fingers cut off by the cabal because I have exposed too much or was like a threat. And I don't blame people for thinking that, because the elite pedophile Satanists, that's actually the kind of stuff they do. They actually do torture people. They do cut off their fingers. They actually cut off people's fingers for enjoyment. They enjoy that. They enjoy.
All right, enough of that. You'll see the rest of that in the video tomorrow. But you see where we're going with this, eh?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Aaron, I have no problem. Going after Liz Croker when it's like Jordan Sather yesterday when Jordan Sather said, the reason why I went on Comedy Central was to maintain my brand,
Yeah.
to publicize my brand, to grow my channel, to grow the awareness, to sign deals and make contracts. Well, you know what? You got at one end of the LARP, the QAnon LARP, you got Jordan Sather, who pretty well says he's all about the money. And then you got Liz asking for money. Like 15 minutes into this video, she pretty well laid it out there. I don't have a GoFundMe. I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. I don't have the insurance. Meanwhile, like you said, she's sitting in front of a friggin' fireplace in some resort, probably on Rhode Island or wherever she's out there on the East Coast. And this is what I had to do in my video. I have to call her up. So,
bro,
anyway, that's tomorrow.
When you do, play her video real slow and then look very closely. Get the clearest image you can of her hand. Because honestly, from what I just saw, it doesn't look like anything's missing. It looks like she wrapped up the tip of her fingers. And I'm curious how the hell you lose 2 tips of 2 fingers when you're surfing. How does that happen?
Well,
was it a shark?
Well, she said the rope. She said the rope got her, right? Well, if the rope got you, the rope's not going to just take your fingertips off. The rope's going to take your fingers off. By the time it gets to your fingertips, the rope's gone. I mean, I've been around boats and camps my whole life, and what she said is utter bullshit. And when I caught her on the screen grab with her fingers, right? Like, I said, what did you lose here? It looks like you just got bandages on your.
It started bleeding really badly, and my friend, who's a doctor, was mad they didn't.
She keeps playing with her hair and her friggin' hat.
I was trying to stay quiet. She just can't leave her hair alone.
No, you don't. You can talk now.
She's like talks like a valley girl. She's like, oh, and for sure, and pulling her hair, and there she goes.
You know what, Aaron? Someone had a very good point. Myra Star in my Cappy videos. And I'm going to do a follow-up because this is pure MK Ultra programming. She's got the Little Mermaid hat on. She just lost 2 of her fingertips out in the water. She's wearing mermaid. She keeps playing with her hat. And when she's asking for the money, and you'll notice it in the video, she does not look in the camera when she's talking about money. She keeps her head away. And we'll just replay that quick. But you're right about her fingers. I make note of it. I do a freeze frame of her fingers. And then she showed us her fingertips. She's got these big-ass fake $200 nails on. And so I was joking. I said, I'm surprised you just didn't lose your fingernails. Like she's got these honking friggin' fingernails.
Johnny says, nobody has ever lost fingers surfing.
Here it is here. Look at. Okay? Look at those honkers. So I said to her, I go, you lost your fingernails. She needs, what do they call it? For the feet? Pedophile? No.
Oh,
What is
look
it called?
at those
A pedophile. A pedicure and a manicure? She just needs new nails. Look at, right?
She probably just, you're right. She probably just ripped off a couple of fingernails. She probably just
Probably right
ripped off a
about.
few fingernails. That's why they're wrapped up.
She's telling us here that's where she lost her finger. And she lost two.
What?
Right there.
The knuckle? Is she touching?
No,
No.
Surfboard.
She's touching her knuckle. She lost her finger at the knuckle? Bullshit, Liz.
It's like before the nail and the fingerprint. So that's actually good news. So it's just the tips, and I don't know. There's some doctors say that your whole finger can actually grow back. That would be awesome. But
Grow back.
Not that.
If you're Jordan Sather, you might take some coffee grinds and put it on your finger, and it'll grow back.
Bullshit.
So
Liz.
where I'm at now.
Here she is. Here, this is where she's at now.
I'm going to need to get plastic surgery if I want to get my finger reconstructed, and there's prosthetics and stuff like that. And I haven't really looked into it, but my
prosthetic fingertip.
Looked at plastic surgeons, and they've already talked about stuff like that.
Vain?
And so I haven't really gotten there yet. But I will tell you one thing: I absolutely do want my fingers back. Okay.
I want my fingers back.
My fingers, you know,
all right. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this because in a couple of weeks or months, when she has everything's all cool and she's got her fingers,
wrestling, lifting, and I've never had to get, never wanted plastic surgery. I felt the need to get plastic surgery and anything. And if you do, good for you. Do whatever you got to do.
So here's the beginning, just before we go into the chat. Here's the beginning of this video.
Hey guys, I'm sitting by this lovely fireplace so I can hopefully explain to you.
Back to nose picking Sunday.
He touches her hair and her cap, and there's those fake fingers.
Surfing accident. I'm sure
got a little black eye.
Hey, Mark, when you make your video, put a number.
Well, I already made it. It's done. What do you want?
I was going to say, put a counter up in the corner of the screen. How many times she touches?
How many times she does that?
Anything that I've been pretty much drugged up.
She's been drugged up.
The comment that our chat box is hilarious right now.
Is it awesome? Is it good?
I haven't really gotten.
Go fund me some fingertips.
Unexpected. There's tons of rumors going.
Tons of rumors, she's saying.
Awesome.
People now getting this injury is proof that I'm in the Illuminati, and I'm a Satanist, and it's pretty entertaining to see some of the rumors going around about me. So here to clear a few things up and explain what happened to me. I don't want to go into too much detail though, because as you can imagine, it was a really traumatic and horrific thing. It's disgusting what happened to me.
Disgusting.
Really.
How can a surfing accident be disgusting?
About it, so I'm just gonna kind of go over it as briefly as I can without too many details, because I don't want to disgust you guys out too much.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I went surfing last Tuesday with a friend. We did it up.
I was saying, Aaron, my last one on the sergeant report, when she kept saying QAnon, she played with her hair the whole time in that interview. And I'm looking back, I'm going, she's always playing with her hair. So I'm going to do a compilation video of her playing with her hair on videos. And I'll probably play Benny Hill or something to it. But this is mind control. She's mind controlled. Look at her eyes. She's always faint. She's fading away. She's not looking at the camera. When she asks for the money, she's not looking at the camera at all. And like Myra Starr said to me, she goes, Isaac Cappy sits there and plays with his curly hair while he's lying on bed chatting all these young girls in the chat room. He's playing with his hair. And this is Monarch control, and Cappy's got MK Ultra control, and that's just how they stay. That's how they stay connected, by playing with their hair. That's part of their programming. If they play with their hair, they're going to stay connected to the topic at hand before they fade away, like Johnny Depp and have a meltdown, or Hillary Clinton stumbles getting into the van.
Together.
She's talking like a teenage valley girl.
Long ago, he's never been surfing, and he has to go back to Europe for a few weeks. Actually, he was leaving the next day. So I wanted to take him surfing. I've gone surfing a bunch of times, but I wanted to take him surfing when the water was still nice, and because the water starts getting cold here. And since he was going to be away, I figured now would be a good time, because by the time he gets back, it's going to start getting really.
All right, so yeah, you don't need that. You want to go back to where she's asking for the money? Let's go back up
Felt
there.
the need to get plastic surgery and anything, and into plastic surgeons, and they've already talked about stuff like that, and so.
Please,
I haven't
Liz.
really
People walking by.
but I will tell you one thing: I absolutely do want my fingers back. Okay.
You're going to get your fingers back, Liz. I promise. And they're going to be good as new.
Oh yeah.
And there won't even be a
job, never got freaking butt implants. I don't do this wrestling, the fish lip thing.
I want my
never
fingers.
had to get, never wanted plastic surgery. I felt the need to get plastic surgery and anything. And if you do, good for you. Do whatever you got to do. Makes you feel good about yourself. But I want my fingers back, and I'll be damned if I don't get my fingers back. So.
I think you should get to the hospital, lady.
We'll leave it on that note. That's enough of Liz. We can catch up on her tomorrow on my video. You might want to do your own video.
Bro, I've never even heard of this person before.
Oh,
really?
no.
She's on SGT all the time, dude.
Oh god, man. I unsubbed from KJ, Lionel, all these bigger channels. I unsubscribed from them all over a year ago, man. So I'm clueless when it comes to a lot of these characters.
Johnny said,
you know what, Aaron? You know what you should say to your what do you call Amy and Gandalf? What are they on? Are they your co-hosts?
yes.
You need to tell your co-hosts that he has your co-host. I know Amy looks. You have to tell Gandalf that, you know what? If you're gonna co-host this show, bro, you're gonna have to go and check out the trolls. You got to troll the trolls.
Oh, Gandalf.
So Gandalf can't be coming onto your show and going, I have no idea who Liz Crokin is. Gandalf, Liz is in my top 5, buddy. So you know what?
Really?
If she's in my top 5,
okay, wow.
get on board, man. Yeah, top 5. Female. Tracy Beans and her are my 2 females. Keep your eye on those 2. Because they're buddies. And so is Bumblebee. I mean, Honeybee? Moneybee.
Honeypot.
They're all in the network. You and I have talked, Gandalf. They're all in the network. We're just figuring out who's in that network and how far it expands.
Well,
So,
funny.
yeah,
I was
coming.
I was on a.
Breadcrumbs for truth.
Bro, I was
coming.
I was on a Jordan Sather hangout today, and I was just kind of just lurking. Dude, and I was waiting.
No, you're trolling. We admit we're trolling. You're allowed to troll.
But dude, at the very end of
You're
it,
not
I
trolling.
dude, at the
You're not
very
leaving
end
comments.
of it, I
You're
was
not
asking, does anyone really believe what this guy is saying? And then I said, you guys are Q-tards, and then Jordan's just like, he's just like, oh, looks like the trolls who are being sent here now from Hillary Clinton or some bullshit like that. And I waited to the very end of it where finally the guy left, and I'm just like, you guys know this guy's part of a massive astroturfing operation, right? And a few of the people that were still there were just like, yeah, man, no, we know, this guy's a total bullshit artist. So people that are watching these people, not all of them are totally clueless. A lot of people are clued into what these people are all up to, man.
I think so. Gandalf, how many people were in that chat room today with Jordan when you were in there?
I think it was over 500 when I was on there.
Wow, so he had about 500 in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, at all times. So people would leave, come back in. But
Okay.
yeah, 500, man.
So you know what's funny is when I was screen capturing his video and narrating on top of it last night when I did that, when he finally did his post Comedy Central gig, right? I was looking at the fact that he did a live stream, and I go, oh, he's done a live stream on this. And then when I was watching it, he said to his viewers, when he started to get donations coming in, he said to his viewers, he goes, oh, thank you. And he's looking, I think it was a chick gave him $20 or something. And he said, oh, thank you. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Yeah, I'm live streaming. Yeah. Thank you. I'm getting donations. I haven't done this in a while. And I'm just sitting there, and you might have heard me giggling when I was making my video. I said, cha-ching, cha-ching, you know. And right now, as we're speaking, I just caught a live screen of our boy Lionel streaming right now at 9:50. He does 3 a day. He does a morning one. When I wake up in the morning, I can see that he's scheduled one for 7. He does one in midday and does one at night. And I would like to play all of his scrolls from his last 20 to 25 videos in the last month and see the super chat money. You can actually see how much money he's making in a super chat if you watch the video, because the live feed is live and you see the donations, right? And then Jordan saw that, and you said he live streamed again today, and I bet he was getting donations, wasn't he, from 500 viewers?
Oh yeah, he was, man. And like, see, this is the same shit that used to go on with Jerome Corsi before Jerome Corsi got called out on by the 8chan moderation team, right? Jerome Corsi, he was making bank, bro. He was making I think he was making like at least 10,000 per stream. That Jerome Corsi, whenever he would put up a stream, he was making at least $5,000 or $6,000. But a lot of the times he was making like 10,000, and he was doing one of these damn things every single day. And then he went again. Oh, God, bro. Then he went against the whole QAnon thing because the QAnon team specifically called, or the 8chan board specifically called him out on his QAnon bullshit. Then the QAnon people called him out saying anyone trying to make money off of this is not to be trusted. So then he went with this bullshit narrative, him and Alex Jones both did, that the Q had been taken over by the deep state or whatever, right? So fucking it's just so crazy. Like, these people are just such scam artist fucking pricks, and they've been getting away. Oh man, they've been getting away with this for such a long period of time. Nobody calls them out, like, except for the people that we know on this side of YouTube. Nobody calls these people out. These people are running riot, man. Fucking just making bank off useful idiots that think that they're fighting the system and by giving money to some jackass who used to be part of a military intelligence, Jerome Corsi, right?
Yeah. I just see that Fractal Truth says Canadians have a lot of time to spare. We have to work too much here. You know what, Fractal Truth? You want to walk a mile in my shoes, buddy. You want to walk a mile. Canadians have too much time on their hands. Factual Truth. Oh, you aren't factual. You are Fractal Truth. You know what? You can take your frack and go and frack.
Yeah, dude.
Because I don't have time in my hands, buddy. I left YouTube for a long absence there. Not a long one. I had a little bit of here and there, but I left it for what I would call a long absence. And it was only these friggin' make ops that brought me back full strong. And now, you know what? I'm dedicating 3 to 4 to 5 hours a day right now exposing these bastards. So Fractal, I don't have too much time on my hands, buddy. My time that I have, I'm putting into exposing this shit. And the other time, I'm using to make sure that I can still get up and use my computer in the morning. So have a nice night. Well, that's my response. Fractals and Canadians have too much time on their hands. Yes.
Mark, just be careful you don't have a tragic keyboard accident and lose the tip of your finger.
Yeah, you're gonna hear what happened to me briefly tomorrow in my video.
Hey, you want to know what? Whenever I get to the point where I'm thinking that Alex Jones, maybe I should feel sorry for this guy that, his whole empire of dirt's like collapsed around him. I just remember to about 5 or 6 months ago, Jerome Corsi and Alex Jones are doing a live show, and okay, this is like straight out of the fucking Twilight Zone. Alex Jones and Jerome Corsi are saying, well, if the military's on the streets, maybe we don't really need to worry about it because we know that Trump's trying to arrest Hillary in the deep state, and they're going to try and arrest all the Democrats that are involved with the pedophile rings. And, just listen to that again. Alex Jones is saying, if the military is on the streets, don't worry, they're trying to arrest the deep state and the Democratic pedophile rings, including Hillary Clinton.
That's fucking insane.
Right. Uh-huh.
We're living in a fucking Twilight Zone episode. Can you imagine, so the military's on the streets, Alex Jones gets on the radio, he's just like, don't worry, everyone, Trump's trying to arrest the deep state. You got to support the soldiers. They're there to protect the president and his agenda to make America great again, everyone.
Uh-huh.
And so a bunch of yahoos that 7-8 years ago would have been like, get the hell out of our neighborhood, you pricks, will be on the side of the road, giving the thumbs up, yeah, arrest the SJWs. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the entire TWOOF movement is just a fucking insane asylum, mostly run by people who have either been paid off or they just see that there's more Patreon donation bucks going to roll in if you push some Donald Trump garbage agenda. You know what I mean? Like the whole truth movement's like collapsed. I don't even think of it as a truth movement anymore, man.
I've never thought of it as a movement, really. I see it as a stigmergy. And there are people who are trying to mess up the stigmergy.
Good one, Amy. I agree. Speaking of dog pile full of a pile full of dog shit, this truth movement, whatever, just popped up on my screen here. So a guy that I subscribe to is called Godless Engineer. This redneck engineer guy who he debunks a lot of Christian channels and pastors and flat Earth. He does a lot of flat Earth debunking. Right now, he's live, and it's Eric Dubay explains how the southern stars work on the flat Earth.
Oh God, man!
I can't wait to go check that out.
Oh man, yeah, I'm sure he's gonna if he comes up with that stupid model where they have like a disc and then a dome over the disc with the southern stars on the dome over the disc. I'm mad because I'm sorry, with that model there is no way for the to be at the horizon, which is where it is when you're at the equator.
Yeah, good luck, Eric. Good luck explaining that shit. Wow.
Really?
Aaron?
Yeah.
You had asked, I just posted it, I just put it into the chat box there. You had said, let's dig up the commentary that you and I had with KJ on my video.
Yeah.
So I just sent you the link, okay? The link's there in the Google chat. If you want to pull it up and scroll down and then we can analyze it, go ahead and share that if you want.
Let me jump over there. Open in a new tab.
What do you think about the Liz? Eh? What do you think about that?
What do I think about? I'm sorry, what?
No, the Liz asking for money for her plastic surgery. That's crazy, eh? Isn't it? Wow.
Dude, I bet she just popped
Not
out.
really.
I bet she just lost a couple of fingernails. And look, if you're a woman and you lose a fingernail, or even if you have those glue-on nails and you have an accident and you lose your entire fingernail, it's gross, it's painful, it gets bandaged up. I can't, for the life of me, I can't see how she could have lost the tip of her finger in a surfing accident. I'm sorry, Liz, you're full of shit. All right, I'm going to screen share this. You know what I found interesting was you didn't say a word about KJ in your video until, what was it, 17 minutes into your 20-minute video. Your video was
what
like,
did I say?
well, you just highlighted my video at the end. You gave me a shout out.
I didn't say a word.
And I didn't say anything about KJ until the end of my
No,
video.
you just highlighted. That's why you asked KJ, are you watching Mark's videos?
Yeah,
right?
so quite literally, I'm actually scrolling through. It's like, let me see, I'm
Our
checking your video.
conversation's down there.
19 minutes. So it's not until 19 minutes into your 20-minute video is KJ even mentioned. I'm sharing right now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so my comment to you, I just said, it's truly heart-wrenching what's in that PA report. The Big C, or the Christian channels, they had all week to cover it. Thanks for the shouts, bro. P.S. Plasma Burns is spot on. And then, wouldn't you know it, looky, KJ shows up right under my comment. I had a heart attack 2 weeks ago. Watch my last upload. I did, KJ. I'm aware of your heart attack. But I'm a shill for not covering this topic when you expect me to, right? Morons like you are at the end of any truth movement on YouTube. Hey, KJ, you know what I should do is I should play the fucking video where I should play that whole video, because I totally call you out, KJ. You're a fucking woo-woo pile of shit, KJ. Hey, so here's my reply. Hey, KJ, I was sub to you for a long time, and as a matter of fact, I'm still sub to you. The video I posted was only 1 day after your last stream. And yes, I watched the whole thing. You covered a bunch of bullshit. You had your chance. This report was out for a week when you last streamed. You had a whole week. Don't tell me you didn't know about it, because your whole last live stream, KJ, was like an hour long, covering a bunch of just piddly-ass news stories. So, KJ, I'll say it. I wrote it to you in a comment, and I'll say it to you live in public. To show you that I'm an honorable man, KJ, I promise I'll make a video with your name on it, giving you kudos if you cover this for your 400,000 subs. PSS, I never called you a shill. I said you were silent on the topic. Do the right thing, KJ. Do the right thing. Don't even play with.
And you know what? As I'm scrolling down, you know what's happened?
What?
You know what's happened, Aaron?
Your comment's not
The
there.
conversation. The conversation between myself and KJ is gone. So that means that for a conversation to disappear, he would have had to have let it go. Of course, I wasn't. I left it there. I want everyone to see his comment to me. So I'm looking, and I see that Johnny Supertramp is at the top. Is that where you are, Aaron? If you scroll that video, you see Johnny Supertramp's comments? What are you seeing on your scroll?
I'm scrolling all the
on
way
that
down.
video.
I'm scrolling all the way down in your comments, and oh, look, there's the eye.
Oh,
23.
Yeah, the eyes
boy.
I'm not seeing anything from you down here. I'm not seeing anything from KJ, so I don't see any conversation between you and KJ.
No, but
at all.
scroll to the top. Let's see the top, right? Where's the top? What's the first comment?
The first, well, I'm
just
showing
wanna
me
see what
as the
it shows
first
me,
comment.
what it shows me.
It
shows yours is because you made the comment, but scroll down past that goes into what, Terry Vincent?
Well, I just click newest first because sometimes some of the comments are ghosted until you do that.
Yeah, okay. So with me as the owner of the channel, it would just come up sort by, I go top comments. So Johnny Supertramp's got 18 likes, so you'd see his first. And
There's
you'd like to go newest first, right?
There's Johnny's comment, 18 likes.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go newest first, and then I'll see those ones that I haven't responded to. So Terry Vincent's been in there. He's cussing. Yeah, but most of the people I've replied back to. Yeah, okay. So, but AJ's would have been, because I pinned it, it would have been at the top. So that little son of a gun, in the last day or two since you and I have been on this, deleted that comment to me. And you know what the comment to me was? I screen captured it. But the comment to me basically was, you know what it was? It was Global Agenda. I have followed you for the last number of years, and I always liked your work, but now I know you about a truther.
Now I know what?
I know about you. Now I know about you as a truther, and that's how he ended it. Now I know about you. Like I'm going, I didn't even mention KJ in the video, and he's asking me, you know, because your video was the sound of silence, and then all of a sudden, the next day, you called out SGT report, and then he has that guy on, and then he didn't even for 45 minutes. SGT didn't even talk about, like you said, didn't even talk about the popes and the scandals going on with the papacy. He let the guy on, and then he didn't talk about it. So these guys, these big channels are definitely watching us, no doubt, because KJ comes in and trolls that video, and then he leaves that for you, and you gave him a great reply back, and then you saw the reply I gave him back. And you know what? How come KJ has a heart attack the same week that that Liz breaks her fingernails? Right? So, like, we're in duck soup here.
We're in bizarro world, bro. This is fucking bizarro world.
But there's a bunch of us that are together on this, and you know what? We're just doing a big group hug, and we're gonna just pick away at these big channels one way or another, one way at a time, because the algorithms will eventually pick it up that we're calling these people out. And all they need to do is watch one or two videos, and then they can question themselves. If they're watching those channels already, that means that they already have a little bit of discernment, and they're already questioning things. But then sometimes you have to question those that you are following, and people can question me all they want. They can question you. I'll pick and choose. In the end of the day, you got to go with your gut, and that's how you keep going and doing what you do.
Well,
and, trust your gut.
You got to discern from, who are these shill channels and who are just these people that are pushing this nonsense like Q and Pizzagate that are just whacked out of their minds, and they've totally bought into these psyops that are being pushed, right?
Well, one thing I will say is all the big Christian channels are flat out shills, hands down. There's no question.
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know with Call for an Uprising as a shiller if he's just really intelligently taking his subscribers for a ride.
Well, that still makes him a shill. I'm not suggesting that he's on some Illuminati payroll, but he's working for them, even if he's not working with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
true. I see what you're saying. That like these guys are part of.
If they're just smart enough to, suck up the woo-woo crowd, and that's what I think is happening in many cases. I'm not suggesting that any of these. Maybe they are, but I'm not making that claim. That's a positive proof claim that requires a burden, but that puts a burden of proof on me. So I'm not making that claim. But they are shills. They are shilling for the system.
Yeah, they're keeping people in like this false illusion where there's some kind of breakthrough that's going to take place just around the corner. Right. It's kind of stringing people along with like this hope that you know, oh, there's the QAnon, so don't worry about it, people. There's a military intelligence operation in effect right now that's going to save America. Like,
You know, Gandalf, when you phrase it that way, that reminds me exactly of religion. That's exactly what religion has been doing for thousands of years, is putting people in a state of hope, false hope, that you don't really have to do anything. You don't have to study or learn or think. Just be a good boy, and Jesus is going to come and save it. He's going to save you. He's going to fix everything soon. Jesus is coming soon, any minute now.
yeah,
That's the religious narrative, is the Savior is coming.
Yeah, the arrests are coming. Hillary's going to be behind bars any minute now, everyone.
Right.
That's what the new Q post says, right?
That is basically the religious narrative, that the Savior is coming and you don't have to do shit. Just don't worry about it. We got this. Everybody sit back. We're going to fix it all. The Savior's coming.
Well, that's the whole thing. Q, trust the plan.
Right.
So it's just fucking such ridiculousness. Like, you know, it's sad that there's so many people into this alternative side of information that are basically just as mind warped as the old lady watching CNN or the old man watching Fox News every night. You know, they're stuck into this psychotic like control system that's leading them nowhere. And I don't see things getting better. Like, I see more of these channels coming out of the blue, you know, just to dupe more people. As many people that wake up to Alex Jones, they get sucked into the SGT report, who calls Alex Jones a show. You know, so they're like, oh, wow, now I've really found the jackpot here. This is the real truth of what's going on. But they can't discern that maybe they're being manipulated by these larger channels that are telling them what's been obvious to everyone for 10 years, you know, stating the obvious that Alex Jones is a money-grubbing, you know, shill himself, and he's been that for years, maybe from the beginning.
You know, people think that if you cover certain taboo topics, fringy conspiracy topics, then you're an outlier, which means that, you know, you're not working for the system. You're a good guy exposing the evil system, and that's just not the case. That is these big shots, the Lionel Nation, SGT report, KJ, who occasionally does a little bit of research on certain topics, like I said about authority earlier, gives you the illusion that you're listening to somebody in a position of authority, a guy who knows what he's talking about, a guy who spends all day, quote unquote, researching. I got news for you. This is not how it works. You're being sucked into a false narrative.
Right.
That's why breadcrumbs for truthers is a term that I coined almost 2 years ago.
Man, you know, I was reading, I was just on Google News the other day, and I'm reading, I think it was like the Wall Street Journal. And in the Wall Street Journal, it mentions that apparently the Russian army and the Syrian government, like the ambassador to the United Nations, Jafari, from Syria, is saying that they have intel on the ground that there's going to be another fake chemical weapons attack that's going to be perpetrated in Idlib. And the Wall Street Journal says that this is what the Russians and this is what the Syrians are saying, and they're saying that it's going to be a false flag fake event. And then it goes on to say, and this is why we need to believe when the information comes out that it does happen, that they really did pull it off, and they really did stage another weapons attack.
Yeah, we'll pick it apart when it happens. Don't tell me how to think.
Yes.
Well, the last chemical weapons attack that was apparently where the gas attack apparently happened in East Ghouta, that was proven 100% without a doubt to have been a false flag operation. And the information, they've done interviews with the people who were in the bunker where the people came in covered in dust and were getting water poured on their faces. And that information's all out there. There's no denying that. The Americans launched a bunch of Tomahawk cruise missiles at what they claim was a chemical weapons facility in the heart of Damascus. And there was footage on the ground that very day of rescue workers combing through the rubble. And we're talking about people combing through the rubble of what, according to the United States, England, and France, was a chemical weapons facility. Does any of this shit make any sense? Like,
Right.
No.
so the Syrian government's going to send in police officers to comb through the rubble of this building to see if anyone died. Luckily, no one did. But you really think that they're going to be combing through the rubble of a chemical weapons facility? Like, really?
No.
Like less than 24 hours after the place was blown to smithereens with like 20 Tomahawk cruise missiles. So these people have a brilliant control over all the information that's out there right now. Most of these large channels do not cover anything Syria related because it's not part of the hot topic, which is Pizzagate and QAnon, arresting Hillary Clinton and pedophile rings.
You know, Hillary has been pretty quiet. I haven't seen her around doing anything lately. And the last several times we have seen her, she keeps fucking falling downstairs.
Yeah, who knows? Man, I wrote in the comment section, I was just saying they're probably going to run they probably will run Hillary against Trump again, and she probably will lose again to Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump's their boy. They got a good guy in there right now.
So we're already in overtime. Mark, you want to hang around a few more minutes? Because there's something I've been wanting to show you. Last week,
Man, go ahead. I'm tired, but yeah, go ahead. I haven't eaten, man. Go ahead, man.
All right, just a couple minutes. I'm going to shift the conversation entirely back to astrotheology. You know, this is a big study project for me, and I've been at this for years. And last week, after our show, we had our little post-show chat on Skype, and I was trying to, because for some reason my Skype wasn't working, and I was trying to get you to do the screen share and look up the Virgin Mary stuff.
No, you got it. Good.
And you covered in one of your videos about two weeks ago, you covered something that Finis Temporis had pointed out, that his video titled something about Mary was taken down, and that video was up for a little while, and they chose the 15th of August to take that video down. And he noted that at least they have a sense of humor, because that day, the 15th of August, is the Assumption of Mary Day. This is the day that it's assumed that Mary was taken up into heaven. And you found this particular image that I'm showing right here. This is one of the main images, artworks. But, and I've already pointed this out, but what I want to show you is some of the other files that I have. But before I do, real quick, for those listening, just to make sure everybody's on board, what we're looking at is an artwork, a piece of art here. This is the Virgin Mary being taken up into heaven. Below her feet, and let's not forget that she's in the clouds. So astrotheology is all about the idea that every story you've ever heard, especially Bible and theological stories, all of them, Muhammad, Jesus, Abraham, the whole works, it all happens in the stars. The three wise men, the three kings, those are the belts of Orion following the star Sirius, shit like that, okay? So she's in the clouds. Obviously, she's in the clouds because what we're talking about is things that happen in the sky, not on earth. And below her feet are 12 cherubs, these little angel-winged, babies with wings. There are 12 full-bodied cherubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 below her feet. And then there are little baby faces hidden in the clouds and shit. But one of the things I want to point out, and I did this to you, Mark, but I'm going to show you a bunch of other examples. The chaff of wheat over here on the right side of the screen, this little cherub baby is handing Mary a chaff of wheat. I want everybody to keep that fresh in your mind, chaff of wheat. Now I'm going to open up this other file. I'm actually going to leave that aside because I might want to refer back to it.
That's a nice one. The sex kittens in the Illuminati there.
No, that's my Pink Floyd album cover.
That's Pink Floyd, eh? There you go.
Yeah, you haven't seen my
His desktop.
my desktop art. It's a Floyd album cover.
It's quite cool.
Two of my favorite things: naked women and Pink Floyd.
Breakfast in America. Supertramp. Plane crashing in the building.
Okay. So the whole point I'm trying to make here is that the Virgin Mary is Virgo. It's the sign of Virgo, the constellation Virgo. Now, before I get into the Mary real quick, I'll just show you this quick image of Isis. The goddess Isis is the Alpha and the Omega. I, Isis, am all that is, has been, that is, or shall be. No mortal man hath ever me unveiled. Above her, the winged disc. But look at Isis. Look at the image here. She is surrounded by the Ouroboros right behind her head. That's the Milky Way galaxy. I've said this before, and I can prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Look what she has in her hand. She's got the scales in her right hand. That's Libra. Look on her breasts. She's got grapes and a bundle of wheat. Look at her earrings, the sun and the moon. She's got a wreath around her head. That's the maiden, the virgin maiden. The Mayflower, the maypole. Springtime. All right, I'm just going to see if I can slide, if this will work. Okay, there's the other image. This, Mark, if you haven't seen this, this is one of those Illuminati, it's a Masonic Illuminati playing card. This is the High Priestess.
Yeah, I've seen that one, yeah. I've seen all those cards.
Okay. Look at her.
That's a good one with the stars.
Look down here at her feet. It's the crescent moon.
Right.
She's obviously flanked by Jachin and Boaz, the Masonic pillars, black and white, day and night, good and evil. Look behind her. What do you see? Corn, wheat, grapes.
Hey, Roof, I just got an idea, man. I think we should do a show committed to going through some of the Illuminati cards, man.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
But also take note of what she's wearing. She's wearing white and blue. Usually it's a blue cloak, and that's because blue is the sky. Blue is also water. So women are typically women and goddesses.
I don't think that's an Illuminati card. That's a tarot
sorry,
card.
You're right, Amy. It's a tarot card. But nevertheless, this is Masonic. This is clearly black and white Jachin and Boaz pillars on both sides. So here's some of the images I was trying to get you to find the other day, Mark. Here's a statue of the Virgin Mary. Take note of the color she's wearing. She's got the white dress, and it's a sundress. She's got the blue cloak, which represents the sky, because this is all happening in the sky. And she's standing on this blue orb, which is the sky, but there's star patterns on this blue orb. Again, this represents the sky pattern, the star pattern, the constellations, the universe. But look very closely at her feet. There's a serpent. She's trampling a serpent. Okay. Can you see that little serpent winding around behind the globe under her feet there?
Can you move it a little to the... Yeah, there you go.
So just note all the patterns that I'm going to show you. She usually wears white, a white dress with a blue cloak. Sometimes her dress is pink or red, and that represents the menstrual period because women are also associated with blood, and the moon because the moon governs women's menstrual periods. So occasionally, occasionally you'll see Mary in red. Here's one Mary is in red. Look what we have here. She's standing on the moon. She's trampling a serpent. And look, the cherub has a chaff of wheat. The other cherub is handing her a little wreath to put on her head. Again, that's the maypole, the mayflower, springtime. Look at this other one here. She's wearing pink. She's got the blue cloak on again. She's standing on a gray orb. That's the moon. And look, she's trampling a serpent again. Why is Mary always trampling the serpent? I wonder. Trust me, I'll explain. Here's another one. Mary, in the clouds, the sun behind her head, white dress, blue cloak, standing on the moon, trampling a serpent. And if you notice to the right, the carving of the wooden doorway or entryway, it kind of looks like, it's a very resembling a lion, an open mouth, a lion with his mouth, he's in a roaring, kind of resembles that. Keep that in mind because Mary and Leo, that's the beginning and the end of the zodiac. That's the Sphinx that I brought up earlier. Here's that. Oh, damn it. That card again. Okay. Here's the Virgin Mary. This is constellation Virgo. Here's a screenshot from my Stellarium app. Here's Libra down by her feet. Look right in the center of the screen. There's the moon right at her feet. That's why she's always depicted with standing on the moon or the moon at her feet. But if you look over on the right side of the screen, and I'll show you a better image in a second, that's a serpent under her feet. That's the serpent of Ophiuchus. That's the 13th constellation. Here's a better shot. This is Ophiuchus, and he's the wrestler. He wrestles the serpent, and the serpent is under her feet. And there's the sun being born in Virgo. And look, Virgo is what's she carrying right there? Look what she's carrying right there. It's a chaff of wheat. And right next to her is the constellation Crater, otherwise known as the chalice, the cup. Here's an image of Mary. I found all these artwork, all these Renaissance and religious artworks. There she is again with the blue cloak. And what's on her cloak is a bunch of stars because, again, this is all about what's in the sky. The guy that's knelt down in front of her, what's he giving her? He's giving her a chaff of wheat. Look what she's standing on. She's standing on the moon. I won't get into the golem. That's a whole other thing. But just for shits and giggles, I was looking at this piece of art the other day, and it kind of looks like this guy's got a giant dong hanging down between his legs. Is it just me or what?
It's a flower.
That's a flower? Okay, we'll leave it.
It's a little budding flower.
It's a grower, not a shower.
If you water it, it's gonna grow.
That's what this is about. It's all about fertility. Look, here's another one. She's got the red. She's wearing the blue cloak. And look, again, the blue cloak is studded with stars. And look what she's standing on, a black crescent moon. And if you look at her feet, right about where the moon is, it looks like this little green man is holding up, it looks like a bird. Does that look like a raven to you?
This looks like there's a face right at the bottom. It looks like a face. It looks like Ben Sherman's face right there at the bottom. Ben Sherman.
Yeah, the guy in green?
Yeah, the guy in the green. If you look at, he's got his arms up, but look at the face, the little face. That's a Ben Sherman face right there.
Oh, yeah. I think that might be the golem right there.
Oh, Ben Sherman's a golem.
But take note, there's a red bird. It's the same color as her dress. It's really hard to see if you're not looking for it. But she's standing on a bird. Right? Check it out.
I think what you're saying is most of the historical artwork here is depicting those scenes, right? So
check it out.
I think you've made it be known that that's what you look for sure.
Look right under the 11 on September 11th. Right under the number 11 is the constellation Corvus. It's the raven.
Ah.
That's why she's standing on the raven.
Good one. The raven.
I'm telling you, dude, this all astrotheology. It's all in the sky. Look at that. That's her standing on the raven right there.
Where is this going? What's the end game then? What's going on?
What's going on?
What's the end game? Yeah.
Well, what's going on
is
that religion is bullshit. They're telling you right here in your face. Here's another image of Mary. White dress, blue cloak, little stars, clouds and stars in the background, standing on the moon again. And back to ISIS. No, that's what this is about, though.
Well, I think if we rewind an hour and a half ago, I think I said that, I think the biggest conspiracy on the planet right now is religion, and it's a done deal. Those are the ones though that created it. They created it, so that's why you have to take religion with a grain of salt. You have to go and Jesus says to go and pray in your closet by yourself. If that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Exactly.
The church is what drew. The church is what drew. When it became all about money, I like that one there. I like your consistent of 88 likes. When it's all about money, that's when it became poisoned. Anytime money became involved with the church, I mean, what other corporation can get away without paying taxes but the church? I mean, give me a break.
Well, Mark, I know
They set it up.
I know you follow Finis Temporis, so you probably already know by now that 9/11 is the birth of Christ.
It is. September 11th is his birthday.
And the 88 is the double analema. So
that's why 88 is so.
So the sun, for those who don't know, I'm trying to make this quick because I could really go on for hours on this subject. Where did it go?
Well, you should do a show on that your whole presentation.
Yeah, I should, and probably I know I could, but I need to just do a whole presentation on this. I mean, Ophiuchus
you should do an hour and a half minute documentary on your channel. You should do an A to Z on it.
Here's Revelation 12. There's the analema right there. The red number 8, right where the sun, and if you look behind, there's Virgo. The sun in Virgo is in the center of the analema. That is September 11th. And I took this screenshot from Finis Temporis, one of his videos. This is Revelation 12:1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, the sky, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And that's why the other image had 12 cherubs carrying Mary at the Assumption of Mary. Because 12 the constellations, that's why. It's all about the constellations. It's all about what's happening in the sky. This is what religion is based on. All of it. There is no Christ. There is no Mary. There's no heaven. There's no hell. Now, that doesn't mean run out in the street and rape and murder and pillage. That's a whole other conversation about, where do atheists get their morals. That's one of the big debates among atheists and apologists. But I won't ramble on too much. I just wanted to show you some of those images that I had on Mary, and I've got more. I've got other files in other places, and they're just kind of buried in a giant pile of shit I've been collecting.
Aaron, that's the old analogy of right in plain sight, right? I mean, people that are walking around in the churches, you're showing a dozen or so pictures of Mary, and you've got the various representations of the half moon, of our little what do you call them, our demon, and then you got the wheat symbolism as well. And we went through all those scripts there last week, and like the whole imagery on Google, every one has the same thing. And what we just saw with that Hearts of Desire with Cappy, and I found some more sunflower symbolism when the little girl walks into the church before Cappy's about to sacrifice her.
Yeah, they show.
She looks up. Yeah. Did you notice that picture of Jesus on the cross? Did you notice that he was radiated with sunflowers? But the coloring on the around of them, I noticed it because after you had talked to me about the esoterics with the Virgin Mary and the Assumption of Mary, I saw the womb when that little girl in the church before Cappy's about to kill her, she's looking up at at Jesus Christ, and the shadow around Jesus on the cross looked like a woman's uterus. And you're right, it becomes, when you're awake and you're aware, then you can see it instantly, and that's why you're seeing all this instantly now. And I saw it just after here I go. I'm looking at another more pedo symbolism. I got Jesus on the cross with the sunflowers, and Jesus, the same image of showing us on that Isaac Cappy Hearts of Desire crap is Jesus is inside the vagina. Mm-hmm. If you go back and look at that video, that little girl with Jesus on the cross, he's inside the woman's vagina.
It's all about fertility and sex and birth and death.
That's it.
And rebirth. And Johnny Supertramp just said that the sunflower equals 666, which is why the Satanists like the sunflower symbol.
Yeah, Johnny was telling me that, yeah.
So we're going to let you go get some food, Mark. Thank you again for a great show. It's been 3.5 hours, brother, and it is always my pleasure, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Looks like the chat was cordial. So I'll say good night to everybody in the chat, and we'll see you again. I'll see you in the chat, and we'll see you around on the other channels. But yeah, good points tonight, Gandalf. You made some nice points about the whole crap with Canada and politics, and I think that with Trudeau in there, we're definitely in a divisive paradigm shift here. We've changed from an easygoing, nice, relaxed people to, with all these crappy psyops they're throwing on us, they're pushing the divide and conquer up here in Canada as well as the States and abroad.
Io says 666 is something about the speed of Earth around the sun and or the distance around the equator. 666 is what you get if you, I'll put it to you this way. In the celestial calendar, there are typically 36 constellations. Okay, that 36 main constellations. To be honest, in modern times, we now have a total of, get this, 88 total constellations, and that's the North Hemisphere and the South Hemisphere. But in the North Hemisphere, there are 12 obvious, the ones that everybody knows, all of our birth month constellations. And then there are what they call deacons. And isn't that interesting that the church has deacons? But there are lesser constellations like the one that I showed, Crater, which is the chalice, and Corvus, which is the bird, the raven. Those are known as lesser constellations. They're also known as deacons. So they are constellations, and in total, there's 36. Excuse me, there's 48. So there's 36 deacons, and then the 12 main constellations gets 48. So the 36 deacons, we have imagine a circle 360 degrees. Also imagine a roulette wheel 36. If you take 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 all the way up to 36, it equals 666. It equals 666. 666 also, in terms of fractions, represents 2/3, which in Bible terms, 2/3 of the waters will turn to blood, 2/3 of the fish and the animals will die. Those kind of things that you'll find in that acid trip known as the Book of Revelation. So 666 is 2/3. 333 is 1/3. So the shit is all tied together. It's all related. But the bottom line is it all goes back to the stars every single time. Every single time. No matter what.
Stars and mathematics, Aaron. Numbers and the stars, they all line up. The world is revolving around numbers and algorithms and frequency waves and yeah, but it's all in the stars, my friend. It's all in the stars. The moon, you know, certain religions operate on the moon and the sun, and one of them is the ones that don't like the goyim, and I'll leave it with that. So I'm gonna say good night to everybody, and I gotta go and eat because I haven't eaten.
We love you, Marco.
It's been a long day.
Thank you, brother. And
I'm injured.
You're injured. Take care of those fingers, bro. We're gonna start a GoFundMe page to get you some glue-on fingernails.
And I'm gonna continue to share with you tomorrow, Aaron. And when you see what I'm gonna share, you're gonna go, okay, I understand. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Well,
I had my own. I had my own Liz Crokin experience today, but I didn't lose fingernails.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be
guys.
busy. I'm gonna be busy, and I'll be away from home most of the day tomorrow. But I'll check Skype when I get home, and I'll keep an eye on your videos. And we'll stay in touch. And love you, buddy. See you soon.
Yeah. I'll let you know what's going on. Bye.
Cool, man. Gandalf, Amy, final thoughts.
Well, I'd like to just hit you with a double on what you always say. Pick up your trash, people. I'm seeing a lot of garbage on the fucking roads nowadays.
Bugs the shit out of me, dude. I go camping. I do nature trails, walk the dogs. Fucking trash everywhere. You know, I got this neighborhood that's like secluded, and there's one little elbow street that sort of cuts halfway through my neighborhood and gives access to the main highway. People always use this little cut through, and right before they get on the main highway, they throw their fucking beer and wine and alcohol bottles and whiskey bottles out the window on the little grassy area next to the roadway right here in my neighborhood. And when I walk my dogs in the neighborhood, there's always fucking beer bottles. Always. And I've seen people do it, man. I've seen them, you know, drinking while they're driving, and right before they get on the main highway, they throw their shit out the window. God damn, that makes me mad.
Oh, it makes me mad too.
And I'll say one more thing. Please, if you have the ability, if you got a mic, if you got just a shitty little laptop, you know, or a phone, start making videos. You know, the more people that are calling this stuff out, the more people we can reach. Because these shill channels, these bullshit pushers, the scam artists, these guys are running riot. You know, if you're able to start a damn channel, please.
Yeah, anything you can do to help people not fall into the trap. Good people, good, well-meaning people are duped. They're giving their money to these assholes, and all we can do is expose them.
I think we can say the same thing of the system. Good people are giving their money to the assholes who own the system.
Yeah.
I'm working on solving for that. My final thoughts. Watch my playlist. Let's solve for the psychopaths in control.
Everybody,
Love always.
everybody in the chat, all the new people, all the old people, we love you. Land Raver got a wrench today. SS, I think I gave you a wrench today. Adelaide, our biggest and longest and one of our oldest supporters. Blue Blood's been with us a long time. Mad Pie Man. Big P made an appearance. Johnny Supertramp for sure. IO, good to see you. Broadsword, Hallelujah, Chorus. Couple of new people. Who was it? Bite Me. You still hanging around, Bite Me. You've been here the whole night. Good on you. Fractal Truth and everybody else. And if I haven't mentioned your name, just know that I love you.
Four world peas. 4 world peas.
I think I said world peas. Lady Zaga's been in here almost all night. And we love you guys. We love you all. And if I haven't mentioned your name, and if you have a wrench, then you know I love you. But appreciate you guys showing up. And I think it's probably time we kill this motherfucker. It's 3 hours and 45 minutes now.
We've been going overtime the past couple weeks, bro.
Yep. So Johnny Supertramp agreed to come and make a second appearance. I really want to get into his DMT thing. So Johnny, if you're still listening, just keep an eye on your Skype. I'll hit you up in the next day or so, and we'll get you scheduled. Maybe next week. Maybe Mark will want to come do part 3 next week. I'm not sure what's going on. But if you have time, we want to talk to you again. And with that, pick up your fucking trash, people, and we love you. Thanks a lot, and we will see you next week.
Peace, everyone.